Happy Veterans Day, everybody. Welcome to the Outlaw Nation Show. I am the Outlaw John Rocha. As you can tell, if I'm wearing the hat, you know it's outlaw time. That's what it is. It's not John Rocha time. It's outlaw time. So you're going to get raw, authentic, unfiltered takes on it all. I got the light show going on behind me. If this is going to give you an epileptic seizure, then you let me know and I will turn it off and have one light going the whole time. But I'm in one of my moods tonight. That's for damn sure. After a hell of a busy day, we got Disney Plus Day coming tomorrow. I'm going to be up at 5 a.m. Seeing all this stuff start to drop at 6 a.m. PT. And from what I understand, it's not actually going to be an event where they sit there and present everything. It's going to be, being released on the separate social media platforms, little things here, little things there. But right now, I've got Michael Vogel and Laura Kelly lined up. We're going to go live sometime tomorrow to talk about Disney Plus Day and the trailers and all the events and all the stuff that gets dropped. All of that is going to be talked about on the show for sure. So I'm looking forward to doing that with that awesome crew. Can you guys hear me? Sean, can you hear me? Give me a head nod. Want to make sure, all right, because I'm trying out the new little system here that's set up here. I got a lot of changes coming to the Outlaw Nation, messing with the camera a little bit. I got 2 new ring lights, so maybe we'll go a little bit brighter here. Maybe I like it when it's the light's a little bit wider. And if my mom's watching, I apologize, Mom. I love you. I love you, Mom. I love you. The Outlaw loves his mom. I love my mama. She always watches my shows. She surprises me. She always she shows us, she'll call me and she's like, I got a commentary about your show. Or in the Spanish accent, or in the Spanglish accent, Hey, Johnny, I was watching the other day. This is the things you need to change about your show. So she's very funny, and I love her to death. Yeah, but happy Veterans Day, first and foremost, everybody. In all seriousness, served in the Army for 8 years. The Outlaw / John Rocha served in the Army for 8 years. Proud to serve my country. I'm not always the biggest fan of getting into certain clubs, getting into certain organizations. I start to find the issues with them. I start to find the holes with them. But in the military, no matter what the issues were in the military, I haven't ever regretted one day, 1 second that I was in the military. I was proud to serve my country. I was proud to give it 8 years of my life in various forms, both as a reservist and full-time person when I was training. I was stationed at Fort Gordon in Georgia, stationed in Fort Dixon, New Jersey, or Fort Disneyland as they call it, Fort Meade in Maryland, worked with the NSA, was military intelligence, and did all of that during my time in the service, and I was proud to do that. But that's just me serving. The people we're honoring today, and people seem to forget this, the people we're honoring today are all the veterans of the wars that our country has fought over the many decades that it's been around, fought for our freedoms, fought for our rights. Whether you agree or disagree with the wars, the men and women who have served our country served by taking that oath to defend the country against enemies, both foreign and domestic, and those who've lost lives, who've given the ultimate sacrifice. I do nothing but salute you. Those who were injured and were casualties, but not fatal casualties in theaters of war, I salute you again. And I thank you very much for fighting for us and fighting for our rights and our freedoms and standing up for this country. People, I'm one of the first people that at times can be quite critical of my country and the people within it. But that doesn't mean I don't love my country. I think that's the number one thing that's really important here. Look, you can criticize your dad and your mom, right? You still love your dad and your mom. You criticize your brother and your sister, your cousin, your best friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your significant other. If you're in a threesome, the other 2 people in a threesome, you can criticize them. It doesn't mean you don't love them. And I want to make that really, really clear. Sometimes people try to equate undying loyalty with patriotism, and that's not correct. That is not correct. One of the most patriotic things you can do is question your government, question the people in charge, question some of the things that are going down, question people who try to turn it into a pseudo tyranny, try to be pseudo tyrants, and trying to turn our country into a dictatorship. And that's the thing that you can't let happen here in our country. So, and I see little Lord Fauntleroy already issuing statements, going crazy about last second appeals to try to make sure that all his conspiratorial insurrectionist communications aren't released to the committee there at the House, so he gets really exposed for the clown that he is. But, so be it. That's a story for another day. It's on appeal now, and apparently they won't be able to release the footage or the interactions until the 30th of November. That's when they're going to have hearings, And maybe at that point, finally, once and for all, we'll get this. But I don't know how this clown keeps winning in court to get to. He couldn't win one election fraud case, but all of a sudden he can win all these cases about about his hiding his interactions with people, and it's got nothing to do with national security. It's all about hiding his guilty actions, and those kind of actions are against America. Anything that's trying to overthrow the country for one person to be in charge is against America, and I do not celebrate that on Veterans Day. I celebrate democracy on Veterans Day, and that's what we fought for. That's what people have died for, and it's an insult to do anything else, in my opinion, as a former member of the U.S. Armed Forces. Well, I appreciate you all joining me tonight. I got 43. I can't believe it. 43 y'all joining me at 9 o'clock at night on the West Coast time. I wasn't going to do the show tonight. I've been so exhausted. I was up this morning at 6 a.m., had a fantastic meeting at 8:30 a.m., recorded some Schmodown stuff. Going after Christian Harloff because he's got to give me that one last ride. He's got to give me that match at Schmodown Spectacular. You saw the videos. You saw the videos from this past week in those matches. You saw me coming after him, ramping up the Outlaw pressure. That's what the Outlaw does. So I can get my match with whoever I'm playing there at Schmodown Spectacular and get my match from Christian Harloff, not with Christian, but from Christian Harloff. Who knows if it'll be Christian Harloff, but I'm going to get my damn match. So Outlaw Nation, if you're going to show up. Let me know you're going to show up, because I want you wearing a Guy Fawkes mask. If you're an Outlaw Nation member and you're going to be there at Schmodown Spectacular, you damn well better bring a Guy Fawkes mask. Now, I may be there selling Guy Fawkes masks, and I'm going to sign them on the inside with permanent marker. So I'm going to do that as well. So get ready for that as well. Hopefully I'll have some t-shirts. Sean Barreto's been jumping into my shit because I haven't reached out to Josh Mabry yet. I'll take care of that tomorrow morning for sure. And hopefully we can do a rush job on these, and I'll pay extra, Josh Mabry. Tell your boy I'll pay extra. Or, he can do it on the DL, and we can take care of him later, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting it out there for you, Josh Mabry. But good to see the Night Owls hanging out. Cheryl is here. Fireline Entertainment. We appreciate you, Rocha. Love you, man. Gary Hatulke. Rocha wants all the smoke. Fuck yeah, bring the smoke, son. I've never been afraid of smoke, because where there's smoke, there's fire. And if there's anything the Outlaw has done in his entire career is walk through the fire and come out the other side. I'm like a Khaleesi up in here walking out. Instead of dragons, I got titles on my shoulders. That's how I walk out of the fire. I got no dragons. I got titles, son. So shout out to them. Draws Walkers have been here. Good to see you, Draws. I haven't seen you in a bit. Nice to see you. Tyler Hackner, Chris Taylor, Sean, of course, Jeremy Miller, population -420. There you go. Brian Brawler says, Rocha, don't act up. Behave yourself, sir. Look, I'm just happy Brian Brawler is awake. Somebody checked the mattress on the back of his back. Hi, Maria. And Fred Tastic is here as well. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody hanging out with me tonight. I don't feel no pain. Oh, and one thing I do want to say right now before we start. This awesome shirt, Rocky Beats Drago, 1985. Shout out to Contenders Clothing. Contenders Clothing sent me this shirt for free. Kind of promoted a little bit in honor of Rocky 4 coming out, the director's cut. We're going to get into my thoughts on that in just a second. But yeah, they sent it to me and a couple other things. I got a Cobra Kai, and I've even got a pair of those Rocky shorts, and I may put them on tomorrow and take a picture of myself for Instagram wearing the briefs. So yeah, I've seen other people in the sphere wear their underwear on Instagram. So why can't I? I'm going to warn you, I'm a grower, not a shower. So don't come after me. Unless you want to put a roll of socks in my pants, which I'm not going to do, damn it. I'm a man. I'm a grower, not a shower, and I'm in a comfortable relationship, so I ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. But I may take a picture. I'm not in the best shape, but I'm still going to take the picture, damn it. So there you go. Again, I'm telling you all, the lights are going all behind me. These are my new lights. If you got an issue, an epileptic seizure, you let me know. I can slow them down or go to one color. Just want to make sure. But yeah, this is one of the shirts that's available. They've also issued some new stuff that just dropped yesterday. They had a big live event and live video dropping all their stuff for the new Rocky 4 cut, in honor of the new Rocky 4 cut, stuff that says Balboa. It's pretty awesome things. I don't have it fully up. I don't know if I can share. Can you share your Instagram stories? I wonder if I can share my Instagram stories, because I want to give some love to Contenders Clothing. If you guys are looking, and let me tell you something, I'm not saying this because I'm wearing the shirt. The shirt is smooth. It is nice. For what you pay for, you get a really nice shirt, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely an awesome shirt. So I can't recommend it enough. I haven't tried on the underwear yet, but I will be trying that on. One of them says GOAT on it. So shout out to them to send me the GOAT. They understand who the real damn GOAT is in this world. Let's take a look at their Instagram thing real quick. Let me see if I can share it on my screen there. There we go. Here it is. All right. So yeah, they've got Clubber Lang, world heavyweight champion. They got that. Look at that's pretty cool, right? And then you've got the Clubber shorts. I may reach out to my contact at Contenders Clothing. Go, I need some Clubber shorts. Those are awesome Clubber shorts. Respect. Can we get Mr. T back in this thing? This is another thing they released here. Now look, the Italian style. Look at it. And Drago, the Russian sickle, the old hammer and sickle from the USSR. There, the Italian stallion stuff on the back. Pretty cool stuff that they dropped yesterday. And this, look at this. Now, let's watch the video here. Look at that. Italian stallion, Yellow Clubber Lang, World Heavyweight Champ, then the Balboa stuff. So all of that is available. The Rocky Robe Collection, it is live. And look, they're not paying me a dime, right? They just sent me this shirt, and I give love to the people that are good to me. I like to be good to them. So shout out to them. Go and follow them. Go to contendersclothing.com. You see it right there. Jen Sturger follows them. So respect her. Muhammad Ali follows them. What else do you need to know? Oh, and here we go. Here's another shot of the Balboa stuff. Pretty awesome. You got the Rocky shorts. I'm not wearing either one of those shorts, but those are the original colors of the trunks from the first Rocky movie. Remember the red and white? The red, fully red, was the wrong ones. The white with the red was the right ones that he wore. But yeah, here's some more. There's the I Must Break You shirt that I'm wearing. Got the Cobra Kai stuff. Got the Tiger one from Rocky 2, Muhammad Ali stuff, and they've got some Top Gun stuff coming as well. They do have Bloodsport stuff, so go to Contenders Clothing, get some awesome stuff from them. They are pretty cool people. Respect them, and they reached out to me. I was so blown away. They reached out to me. Look at that Cobra Kai. That's pretty awesome. I want that. That looks pretty cool as well. So they're great people. Give them some love. Here's the Top Gun collection. Look at that. Sean, don't tell me I shouldn't have all 4 of these, for God's sakes. I need the American flag in as many variations as possible on my privates. That's for damn sure. I want to give some love to my country. Give some love to my country. Free balling. That's right. Tell him, Chris, I'm free balling. Yeah, as Cheryl is putting it in the chat there, hey, we're hanging out tonight, right? So send in some Streamlabs, some Super Chats as we go through the conversation tonight. We have some fun tonight. I don't know who's going to show up tonight. I don't know how many people we're going to have tonight, but I felt like coming on for a couple hours and hanging out with y'all. I wasn't going to do it. I'm not lying to you. I was exhausted today, absolutely exhausted. I did 2 top 10 episodes, recorded that Be in the Ricardo's trailer reaction. I had shot those schmodown scenes. I went to see House of Gucci, which I can't talk about yet. And I had all this stuff going on afterwards as well before I went. Oh, yeah. And then I went into the Rocky 4 cut. So when I got home at 8:30, remember I was up at 6, Sean reached out to me, or 7:30. Sean reached out to me. He's like, are you doing the show tonight or not? And I was supposed to do it at 8 o'clock. And I was like, I'm too exhausted. But I got some Chick-fil-A inside me and found new energy. So shout out to Chick-fil-A. They don't even sponsor the show, but I'm going to give a shout out to Chick-fil-A, for God's sake. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. They took care of me. I'm on iced tea, sweetened iced tea high. So I'm rolling. All right. This is too, let's see, maybe cut off the hat a little bit, but that's fine. Anyway, that's the deal going on today. So I hope you all are doing well. How was your Veterans? Sean, did you send me another message? Did you send me a message, Sean? Oh, no. Sean said, hell yeah. That's right. Hell yeah. All right. So anyway, yeah, I'm hanging out tonight. Going to hang out. So please remember to send in your Streamlabs and Super Chats tonight. Show me some love. It's Happy Veterans Day, at least for another 2.5 hours here on the West Coast. I'm a veteran. Show me some love. Give me some love here on the Outlaw Nation channel for sure. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you're hanging out with us because you saw all the different hashtags, you're like, let me check out this joker out. Well, please make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell button so you see when we're dropping all the content we're doing here on the Outlaw Nation channel. And remember to follow me or subscribe to me on the Outlaw Nation on Twitch, the Outlaw Nation on Twitch. Cheryl and I got to get together and hammer out a schedule so I can be consistently doing watching Amazon Prime movies with y'all, doing watch-alongs with y'all, and doing play-alongs with you all for sure. I'm certainly finding that there's a little bit of time as I'm becoming quicker in my editing process for my shows rather, on my channel. Remember, I'm only doing 2 shows a day. I have a good time. I'm able to carve out a little more time to do some play-alongs, watch-alongs. And of course, don't forget John and Wendy's on Friday. The John and Wendy show on Fridays on Twitch as well at 3 p.m. PT. Tomorrow, we're taking the day off because of all this Disney Plus Day stuff. I don't know what's happening. So we're doing a Geek Buddy show instead, me and Vogel and Laura Kelly. That'll be live. We'll announce it because we don't know when they're going to stop dropping stuff. And once they finish dropping stuff, then we'll do a live show, maybe an hour or 2 hours later for sure, talk about everything for sure. And yes, thank you, Sean, for reminding me. We crossed This last night, overnight, we crossed 19,100 subscribers. So we are 900 subscribers away from getting to that magical 20,000 subscriber thing I've been talking about since last year. So being able to cross 20,000 subscribers would be fantastic. So I am looking forward to it and hoping we cross the 20,000 mark before the end of the year. We got about, 7 weeks left before the end of the year. So give me some love and subscribe down below if you haven't subscribed yet. I would appreciate it. I got 83 of you watching right now. Wow, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you leave a comment if you're watching this later. A lot of you all do watch it later. Make sure you leave a comment. And remember last week I did a big birthday. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I did a big birthday thing and handed out a bunch of gifts. That's what you get being a part of the Outlaw Nation. You come for my birthday, but you get the presents. You come for my birthday, but you get the presents. That's how incredible it is to be a part of the Outlaw Nation. So if you're not part of the Outlaw Nation Patreon, you should also be a part of that Outlaw Nation Patreon. That is patreon.com/John Rocha. A lot of the people in the crew hanging out with me tonight in the chat were in the Discord, apparently, hanging out the Outlaw Nation Discord. It's a great place to be. They're about to start getting me ready for this match at Schmodown Spectacular because I'm playing. Whether Christian likes it or not, I'm playing. I could drag out Mark Ellis's old bones and put him in a chair, and I'll take him on in the match. So I'm having a match. So I'm training my ass up to get ready for this match. You better believe it. So yeah, you could be part of helping me get ready for the match here if you join the Outlaw Nation Patreon. There's also an Outlaw Nation Movie Trivia League where you can have fun playing singles, tags, movie-specific stuff, Star Wars stuff. It's all there. Star Trek even. I know Christian hates Star Trek. Well, he doesn't hate Star Trek, but he's not a big fan of Star Trek. Well, I love Star Trek, so we have a Star Trek division within our Movie Trivia League. It's not the same thing as the Schmodown. It's completely different, but you can only play if you're a part of the Patreon for sure. So get started on that. All right, we got a couple of super chats that rolled through here. Efren Guzman says, John, happy Veterans Day. With the trouble, you know who shared pics with. Do you? Oh, yeah, sorry. John, happy Veterans Day. With the trouble, you know who shared pics with. Do you think it will affect you and others in the long run? Thoughts on AEW? Well, AEW is great right now, so let me address that real quick. Loving AEW, loving everything that's happening. Every Saturday at 12 p.m. PT, Aaron Turner and I talking all the things going on in the world of professional wrestling. More and more people are tuning into that show every week, so we're very happy to see all the extra people showing up and hanging out with us and hearing our points of views on everything that's going on in the world of professional wrestling. Both of us, I know Aaron was the hardest to turn. Aaron has finally come on to the AEW train. A lot of stuff happening there that's fantastic. So that's my overall thoughts on AEW. They're doing good work. But I worry with Vince dropping all these wrestlers, if all these wrestlers coming over to AEW is going to kind of overwhelm the roster. It's going to be too much. And then the people they've worked so hard to build up are going to get lost in the shuffle, and you don't want to see that. So, do I think it will affect you and the others? I don't think so. I think things are the way they are. Like, from what I understand, and I don't have any like concrete evidence, but from what I understand, this didn't affect him that much. The person who shared the pics and probably picked up a few thousand subscribers on his YouTube and a few thousand followers on his social media. And so, he has a right to do whatever he wants to do. And if he can handle the backlash, then he's got a right to walk the path as he sees fit. This is a guy who's been doing it for a long time. He's got a lot of people who follow him on social media and on his YouTube channel. So you got to, at some point, figure out this guy's pretty smart in terms of knowing what to do in this sphere, right? Now, do you believe that he only posted those photos because he thought they were quote unquote photoshopped? That's up to you to decide how you want to believe, if you want to believe him or not. And I think if you put something out there like that, he can't get offended if you speculate that maybe he's not 100% telling the truth, because he does the same thing about other things on his channel and about other people who are making comments from the studios or from or directors or actors or publicists making comments. So, if you put yourself out there, you're going to get scrutinized and you're going to get questioned. That's the game. So, it's part of it. But what does he care? Because he's getting some good attention off of this thing. So that's what I'll say. And I don't see it changing us too much, because I don't think we're going to be rushed to try to drop stuff. Remember, Variety dropped actual stuff. Like, who knows how much of what those pictures are actually show up in the movie. And I saw a clip of him trying to use, I think it's Tobey Maguire's penis as a reason for whether it's right or wrong. I don't know. People are obsessed with people's penises. Shailene Woodley was obsessed with her own boyfriend's penis to defend him the other day. Aaron Rodgers' feet connected to his penis. So it's weird stuff going on. People are very obsessed with dicks over the last few days. So a very unsettling situation. So that's what I'll say. It's if you can handle the heat in the kitchen, then you can do whatever you want. So, and I feel like you can. So, let's see here. All right. Thanks for that one, Efron. Wiley Todd says, Rocha, happy Veterans Day, man. I'm jealous of that Chick-fil-A. My diet ends on Wednesday, so I'm going to get that hella hyped. Have you seen Spencer yet? No, I've not seen Spencer yet. That's the Princess Diana film. I will be seeing at some point. I haven't even seen French Dispatch yet. So I got to get on both of those films for sure. I almost went yesterday, but I'll tell you, man, this week has been exhausting. As more work is coming in for the Outlaw Nation, and we just finished that sponsorship with AMC Plus. I got two new giveaways coming for you all. Get ready to hear from me. I'm going to talk about my wait. Actually, you know what? Let me bring up the Gmail and see if I can mention this giveaway because I agreed to do it. So we're in the process of getting the stuff. Let me find the email here. Yeah. So it looks like they are the publicists down here that I work with have reached out to me. Sony is releasing Ghostbusters Afterlife next Friday, November 19th. There will be a special event on opening night with director Jason Reitman at the TCL Chinese Theaters in LA, answering questions and talking about the many Easter eggs found in the film. The live stream will simultaneously pipe into the 19 additional IMAX theaters for those audiences attending. And one of those theaters is AMC Mission Valley here in San Diego. So I have the possibility to give away 4 tickets to anybody who lives in San Diego. This is San Diego specific. So anybody who lives in San Diego, I'm going to come up with a giveaway for tomorrow where you can put your, I don't know, I'll figure out something that you can do to get qualified for this giveaway. And we essentially have 4 tickets. So they have 4 tickets to give me, but you have to go. Like, this is the thing. If you win the tickets, you have to go. And you have to take a picture of yourself at the event, tweet it to me so I can retweet it, and we can verify it there. It'll be at AMC Mission Valley, Friday, November 19th at 5 p.m. PT. So just letting you know there, that's what that's all about. And listen, tonight I went to see the Rocky IV cut, and I'm going to get into the Rocky IV cut in just a few minutes. And they had the same, they piped in a live interview with Sylvester Stallone. Ben Mankiewicz from TCM hosted the event and hosted the interview. It was for like 30 minutes, him and Sylvester Stallone talking about the journey of Rocky Balboa, the journey of him coming back to do Rocky IV and doing his version of Rocky IV, how much money. He took a year to do this, is what he says in the Q&A. A year, and MGM apparently sank some money into this. And we'll talk about it, what I think about it in just a couple of minutes. But yeah, that's the overall. So pay attention to that. Those are things that we got going on here on the Outlaw Nation. So there will be more giveaways coming for sure. And I'm trying to get those getting done. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate Gary Hotuke for the nice little donation here. Do I have any Streamlabs? Yeah, some Streamlabs come through. Thank you very much. Justin Toner says, hey, John, happy Veterans Day and thanks for your service. Thank you, Justin. It's very kind. Sean B. and I talked about the Rocky IV Directors Cut on the Discord Hangout, and we both loved it. We liked the additions and felt it added more weight and drama to the film. Didn't miss the robot. Now, I've got some thoughts on this, Justin. So let's put a pin on this, because certainly he added more footage, but he also took out a lot of the nostalgia, of the 1980s nostalgia that makes that film so much fun to watch. So we're going to talk about my feelings on that. Fred-tastic, what's up, man? He says, thank you for coming on tonight. I'm Central Standard Time here in Texas and just got off work, so this is a wonderful Veterans Day bonus. Oh, thank you, Fred. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the work you do in your own life, man. Shout out to you, bro, and I appreciate you joining us. Absolutely. And Justin Soner says, oh, did you pick up the birthday gift I sent you at your P.O. box yet? Hope you enjoy it. Looking forward to AEW Full Gear on Saturday night. The card is stacked. Hashtag strong style. Absolutely. I'm sure we'll be, giving our preview and predictions on Saturday's live show on Strong Style at 12 p.m. PT about AEW Full Gear for sure. And I've not picked it up, but I will be there tomorrow, brother, or Saturday morning. I've just been so busy, Justin. You don't understand. It is so crazy busy. I'm on the cusp of announcing a pretty awesome new partnership. If all the contracts come through and everything gets signed and sealed and delivered, it's going to be an awesome new partnership for the Outlaw Nation channel. So I've been working on that. So there's a lot just happening that I'm doing behind the scenes, other than the shows, other than all the reviews and trailer reactions and what have you. There's a lot going on. And even today, I tried to record a video of the top 10 Veterans Day films, or top 10 American war films in honor of Veterans Day. And I just was like a half an hour into it. I'm like, I can't finish this. No, I won't be able to finish this or edit it. So tonight, as an added bonus for Veterans Day, I will give you my top 10 American war films a little bit later. I've got them pulled up and I will talk about it and go through it as well. And let's see if we got any more Streamlabs or Super Chats. We got 100 of you watching us now. Thank you very much for hanging out on the Outlaw Nation. We appreciate it. Please don't forget to hit a like on this video if you're watching right now. And as I said, see the Streamlabs address on the chat. Oh, yeah, I haven't even pinned it in the chat, Sean. What are you doing, Sean? Are you just watching the Yankees game again, for God's sakes? God damn it, Sean. They're not even playing right now. It's the off season. Pitchers and catchers haven't even been reported yet, man. You're probably just writing your Daniel Jones fan fiction. That's what you're doing. I know that's what you're doing. 110 yards, Daniel Jones. 110 yards in a professional football game, for God's sakes. 110 yards. What is wrong with you? All right, let's see here. I'm gonna pin the Streamlabs address in the chat for you all to send stuff in. Remember, YouTube takes 50% off. If you can only send super chats, feel free to only send super chats. No problem. But Streamlabs, I get to keep a majority of Streamlabs. So if you're sending that to me, I will get it. So there you go. And again, it's Veterans Day. I'm a veteran. Show some love if you feel like showing some love. Got 104 of you watching here tonight, so I appreciate it. Appreciate it madly. All right. I think that's all the business that we were going to handle today. Is that correct? I think that's, and we're going to get into some other stuff here. Let me see if I want to make sure. Wow, I'm getting more screenings here. A licorice pizza screening. So that's, thank God, I'm going to get to watch that once and for all. All right. So anyway, let's talk about it. First of all, I already mentioned Veterans Day, so we'll swing back to Veterans Day a little bit. Dom Gonzalez is watching that post game from the Ravens losing. Browns are right back in it. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Browns are right back in it. Who saw Miami beating the Baltimore Ravens? I don't think anybody saw Miami beating the Baltimore Ravens unless you're a Miami Dolphins fan. And even then, maybe you didn't even see it. I watched the last quarter of the game. I turned it on. I didn't have any fantasy numbers from hardly any of the Ravens on my teams. And then near the end, thank God, Mark Andrews got a touchdown. That helped me out in one of my leagues. So there we go. Brennan says, Rocha is the veteran I most like to thank. Thank you very much, Brennan. I appreciate that. I thank you, my friend. I thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, OBJ is now a Ram. Sean is right. Yeah. Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know. You get rid of Deshaun Jackson and you bring in OBJ. I would argue that Deshaun is a way, a smaller headache than OBJ is going to be. So we'll see. If Matt Stafford starts not throwing him the ball, OBJ is going to become a stink, or raise a stink rather, and be an issue for that team. So I don't know why you mess with team chemistry by bringing in someone like OBJ. I mean, look, the Browns showed up without OBJ and stomped the crap out of the Bengals. So it seems like, some people are coolers, and maybe OBJ is a cooler for whatever team he goes to. And I think like he is. Oh, what's up? The movie couple is up in the house. The movie couple says, Rocha, notice me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. What's up? How's it going, Wendy? How's it going, Dustin? Hello to the movie couple. I love them both. Thank you so much. Wendy, what are we doing tomorrow? I mean, I know we're not doing our show, but, on our separate channels, I don't know what's going to happen. Apparently, this Disney Plus Day is not going to be an event. It's going to be dropped, little things that are dropped starting at 6 a.m. PT. So I'm going to be up, but apparently it's not going to be an event that can be covered. It's going to be more about scrambling to try to see what's going on. Maybe I'll do a live watch along as I'm watching on Disney Plus, whatever they're dropping, but it's going to test us, movie couple. It's going to test us big time. Darren Wright says, right before I go to sleep, I thank everyone in the Outlaw Nation and John for keeping me strong this last couple of years. Respect, Darren. Thank you for staying strong. Thank you for letting us keep you strong, bro. I know it ain't easy in this world, my man. So we appreciate you being a part of the nation, even when your microphone is messed up, even when we can barely hear you. We love you madly, Darren, and we appreciate you staying with us. If you're off to bed, sleep well, my man. Somebody in England is waking up right now and heading off to work at 4:30 in the morning. But yeah, you're the best. You're the best. One of the best dudes in the Outlaw Nation. So we appreciate you madly, brother. So sleep well, sleep tight. And we'll see you a little bit later. The movie couple says we're turning into editing machines waiting for these things to drop. Yeah, exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you, Wendy. Or Wendy or Dustin. I'm already like making notes. So I'm going to be ready to go tomorrow morning. So I'm getting up at 5 a.m. So I'm doing this show until 11. Then I'm jumping into the bed, sleeping until 5 a.m. I can go on 6 hours. I'm good to go on 6 hours. The Outlaw has an engine. You guys know that. I've been around for 4 centuries, so you know I've got an engine that can go. It's not a problem for me at all. Have you seen those high school pictures people are posting of themselves? That I almost want to post one of someone that looks like me back in the 1800s and then post now. I think that would be funny. A high school picture. Somebody find a high school picture of me. Yeah. I know you don't. I know you don't, Wendy. Don't worry, you'll get old. Once you get old, waking up early is not an issue. I'm just telling you that right now. This is something you have to look forward to. You don't need as much sleep as you think. So there you go. Darren, if things have been tough on you lately, brother, just want to send you mad love from across the pond. We love you. We got you, bro. We're your hammock in the middle of the storm, bro. We'll take care of you. Don't ever forget that, my man. All right, let's see. Let's see here. All right, so let's get into this thing. I think it's time, Sean. I don't think I have any more Streamlabs that have come through. Keep sending in your Streamlabs and SuperChats, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here late at night. There's 102 of you watching. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to get into? You see the rundown on the thumbnail. We're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers and his woke mob comments. We're going to talk about possibly Kyle Rittenhouse and his crocodile tears on the stand. Carrie Underwood's side-eye. Who's the real snowflakes again? And we're going to talk about the Rocky IV cut, which we're going to do right now. I'm going to take a sip, actually, before we get into it. Yeah, and everything's on the table. One last ride is happening as well. You got any Schmodown questions you want to ask me? I don't know if you noticed the latest standings in the faction race here, but look who's creeping back up into contention. The Finn Stock Exchange. You can't stop us. You can only hope to contain us. And even that is not working out for you all right now. It's so amazing how quiet all these factions have been and how all these fans of these factions have been over the last few weeks. How hilarious is it to see them all of a sudden clamming up and watching the Finstock Exchange, watching our plan come to fruition, watching the dossier become the Ark of the Covenant. I'm pitching us buying an Ark of the Covenant to put the dossier in and carry it into Schmodown Spectacular. The dossier is real. Trust the dossier. We ain't the Sixers, damn it. Trust the dossier. You can trust the process. We're going to win, damn it. I know we're going to win. You got to trust the dossier. Knocking on wood. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We got a lot more matches to go. Yeah, a lot of people look good. Yeah, Barbarian, Griff, they both look good. I'm just going to put that out there. They've been working hard, and certainly Barbarian was due after taking some tough losses and losing a little bit of hope. He doubled down, kept studying. Everybody in the Finstock Exchange chipped in to help study, get him ready and whatever, and it's paying dividends. We'll see if it leads him to the finals, but it's certainly paying dividends for now. And Griffin Newman, of course, showed up and showed out. He's been showing up and showing out all year, so having him on the team, certainly we've proven our first draft pick has been pretty excellent. So, J-Dog says, what's up, J-Dog? He says, in Boston right now, can jump on real quick, caught in the euphoria, the director's cut of Rocky IV, a rather surprising warm night in the hub. Now, I appreciate that, brother, man. I don't know if I'm going to bring people in live because I only have a certain amount of time, but possibly, man, depending on where you're at. Tell me you're not in a train station. Tell me you're someplace safe, J-Dog. I was worried after our conversation on Strong Style where you were going to be, so I hope you're all right. Yeah, that's right. Charlie's saying Cam Newton's back in the NFL, back with the Panthers of all places. The Sam Darnold experiment is over in Carolina, ladies and gentlemen. Did you enjoy those first 3 games? Weren't they a nice oasis? And in the end, Sam Darnold showed up again. He's like a whiter Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to put that out there. So I'll just let that be. Good. I'm glad you're safer than Ricky Henderson, brother. But thank you. I was worried about you. All right. So anyway, let's get into it. Without further ado, let's get into it. I've been on for 35 minutes. Let's get into the director's cut here of Rocky IV. All right, so when this was announced, I was very excited. I did the trailer reaction to the new Rocky 4 cut that Stallone was doing. I've watched snippets of the document. There's a 2-hour 2 hours, a documentary that's out there on the internet now on YouTube to watch, where Stallone talks about the whole process of putting this cut together. And tonight, as I mentioned in the Q&A before the film, they had said the Q&A was going to be after the film, but they played the Q&A before the film. He spoke about how he spent a whole year getting this thing ready, getting this thing together, putting it together, to, getting the people come back to the voices, getting himself, like finding the right material to put on this thing, and the direction that he wanted to go. And some of the things that he talked about in that Q&A and in the documentary is that he felt that Rocky IV, he felt it was a bit too 80s for its own good, that it was, there was some derogatory comments made by him and Ben Mankiewicz, who was hosting the Q&A here, about 1985 being some kind of bad year, and I don't understand that. I don't think any year in the 80s was a bad year. I loved the 80s. Every year of the 80s. Yeah, you had some crazy shit going on, the Iran Contra, Wall Street stuff, was it the Keating 5? Yeah, there was stuff that went down in the 80s. Sure, cocaine, drugs, all that stuff. Of course. But there were also some incredible movies being made in the 80s, incredible music being made in the 80s that still stands the test of time, incredible novels, books being written, nonfiction books, all of that happening in the 80s. People were working out, people were running, people were jazzercising, people were working out with Jane Fonda. So there's a lot of positive stuff that happened in the 80s, including the Rocky series. Rocky 3 and Rocky 4, both in the 80s, both got you going to a gym or running or working out or getting in shape or whatever. So those are the positive things about those movies, I thought, in the long run. And they gave us someone to, kind of cheer for and be on top of. Rambo could be quite polarizing for some people because of the military connection, but Rocky Balboa was not polarizing. He's an underdog. He's an everyman who's been given a shot to take on the heavyweight champion of the world. And he does it in Rocky 2, keeps the belt through Rocky. Well, he loses then and keeps the belt and gets the belt back in Rocky 3. And then here we go into Rocky 4. Now, here's what I'll say about the director's cut right off the bat. This is not the Rocky 4 film that you grew up watching in 1985. It is not. It is absolutely a completely different film. And by that, I mean, Stallone has taken away almost all that 1980s nostalgia that you remember. And I don't know if I can spoil. I don't know if I should spoil the stuff that is gone from the film. But let's just say a lot of the family stuff, a lot of the stuff with his ex-wife, with Brigitte Nielsen, that is not in the movie. So, or ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, whatever she was. They were dating at the time. So to me, and he put in some new stuff that you hadn't seen before. There's definitely a more dramatic approach to it. He changed a lot of the music cues. He used different takes from scenes that you know well. And he tried to essentially de-1980s the film, and he turned it into an independent film. And the independent film really focuses on the triangle of Rocky Balboa, Apollo Creed, and Ivan Drago. That's really the focus of the film. Adrian is almost an afterthought. Certainly Ludmilla, Brigitte Nielsen, is not in the film as much as she is in the original cut. His kid is only in it sparsely. Paulie is barely in the film himself, even though he does get his scenes. And I don't know why, but I never noticed that he was wearing a "Don't Tread on Me" flag on the back of his jacket in Russia. I don't know why I never noticed that in 5 million views of 1985's Rocky IV, that he was wearing a "Don't Tread on Me" jacket and a Marine Corps patch on his blue jacket. I just never noticed that. So, right, he took out all the cheese, Fireline Entertainment says, but that's the cheese that makes me love the film. So to me, it was a little tough watching this cut. I'm not going to lie to you. Do I think it's a good film? I do think it's a good film, but he removed a lot of what I enjoyed about the movie, which is the family connection, stuff with his son, the stuff with the kid and his friends watching Rocky fight Drago on TV, the stuff with Adrian, the scene on the stairs. There's some of that there, but not the full scene. So to me, I think a lot of what I loved about the movie was removed from the movie, and it was turned into this independent film drama about a boxer whose friend dies in the ring and he wants to avenge his friend at all costs. That's the essential log line of the movie, it seems like to me. We do get the scene that was cut out from the original cut there where he meets with the boxing commission and debates with them about giving up the title. Remember, that was just a newspaper headline or a newspaper close-up in the original cut, but we get more of that scene. We certainly get a little bit, well, how can I say this? I guess Adrian is not 100% in the back seat. There are a couple of scenes with her that are actually kind of tough to watch, but heartbreaking. She doesn't want him to go to Russia. They have a back and forth about some other things going. They have a back and forth about in the kitchen about Apollo. There's more hesitancy from Rocky to help Apollo. And there's hardly any humor in the movie. And, a lot of the Rocky movies, the thing that you enjoy about the Rocky movie, or the element that you enjoy of the Rocky movies, is the humor in each of these installments. And there's hardly any humor in this movie. So sure, he took out the cheese, but in which you might call cheese, but in taking out the cheese, he also took out a lot of the sentimentality. And he alters the Apollo Drago fight and his role in the towel situation. And I think that's going to be one of the things people talk about. I'm talking about things that he put in and things he took out. I'm not spoiling the overall point of the movie or what he's trying to accomplish here. But him adjusting the towel situation really surprised me. And does the needle still go in the shoulder? Yes. Yeah, Charlie Unicorn. I don't know if you like the stuff with the kid. Oh, thanks. You too, Wendy. May the odds be ever in your favor. Is that how it goes? Is it 3? Yeah, I think that's how it goes. Maybe the odds ever in your favor tomorrow, Wendy. And Dustin, good luck tomorrow. Good luck. This is going to be crazy. Am I doing a review? All right, I'm doing a review. This is my review of it. That's what I said I was going to do. Darren is staying up. Thank you, Darren. Good. John, did John jazzercise in the 80s? No, I didn't jazzercise in the 80s. Oh, is he spam? Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me block the user there, CFC. He probably saw the Kyle Rittenhouse thing and he's like, I'm going to show you what kind of man I am and I'm going to come in here and make comments. But overall, I think if you enjoy an independent film approach to Rocky, you'll like this film. Even the opening, which we love hearing the all that cue and the belt, and we hear the sounds of the previous fight playing over there. He completely changes that opening to something a little more darker, a little more dramatic. And I think, and this, you guys might be upset with me when I say this, but I think this is what he wanted to do with Rocky V. This is what he really wanted to do with Rocky V. Make it a bit more dramatic, make it a bit more real. And we see his sentimentality is here in terms of the character and the love for Rocky. But he wanted to remove anything that made it feel like a 1980s movie. He couldn't fully remove it all because there's still smoke machines and the laser shows. And of course, James Brown still dancing around doing his Living in America thing. But I don't know if I had a good, how can I say this? I don't know if it's a good, I think objectively, I could probably say it's a good movie. I think subjectively, I can say, I don't know if I'll ever watch that version again because I like the cheese from the 1984 version. I like, yes, took out the opening fanfare completely. There's only 2 montages left in the movie. Apparently that was an issue, too many montages. He combines a montage into another music cue. So yes, he put some stuff in, but he also took a lot out. It's only an hour and 35 minutes, the film. And I think the original cut is 2 hours. What happened, Sean? What did I say? What did I say? Did I say something wrong? Yeah, I know you and Justin loved it. And I respect that. And I'm in no way telling anybody, but it didn't feel like a Rocky movie to me. Right? It felt like maybe old school, maybe Rocky 2 approach to Rocky. And I liked that Rocky 4 was a nice change of pace that reflected the 1980s. But yeah, Sean Barrett's says it did to me. It felt like a Rocky movie to you. I don't know. The fights fell right on top of each other. There wasn't enough time for other shit to be happening to distract you from what he's got to do. There wasn't enough of the world. It just very much felt like, all right, here's Apollo. I'm going to go visit Rocky. I want this fight. Press conference. James Brown, fight. Dead. Funeral. Commissioner. I'm not even going to tell my wife I'm going to Russia. Press conference. Adrian, plane, working out in Russia. Drago working out in Russia. Adrian shows up. Final sequence of working out. Fight. That's it. And to me, taking out all the interactions, he does have one scene with his kid. I think is actually that scene with his kid is damn good. The extended version of that scene is damn good. I really liked what he had to say, but we don't get anything else with the kid. Really, hardly anything else with the kid. And I love the kid. I mean, it frustrates me. He is cleaning his car, and the robot is there, and it's playing that song with Kenny Loggins and Gladys Knight. I like that song, Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing. I love that song, and you don't get it in the movie. So this felt like when George Lucas put Jabba into New Hope and had Han Solo step over it. Well, I wouldn't say he gutted the film Sphinx. It seems to me like he streamlined it, like he had a vision that he wanted to turn this film into a dramatic, independent film about Rocky. And I appreciate that. But he said, I wanted to show more of Drago's struggle and how he was being used as a pawn by the Russians. But that was already there in the movie, in the original cut, and cutting out a lot of Brigitte Nielsen's lines, a lot of Brigitte Nielsen's contributions to the movie. We don't get to humanize Drago through his interactions with Ludmilla. So I thought that was an odd choice. This film now does not line up with Creed 2 at all. It doesn't, and especially because there's one scene at the end of the fight where it's like, no, there's no way Creed 2 happens because of how you see that scene happen in the movie. So this is like a multiverse rock. This is like a Rocky multiverse movie. In this multiverse, in this universe, this is what happens to this Rocky and this Drago in that universe. The original cut, the main universe, what is it, Earth 616 or whatever it is? That's the cut that lines up with Creed 2. This cut does not line up with Creed 2 at all. So, yes, Eye of the Tiger is still in the movie. Absolutely. Eye of the Tiger is in the movie, but yeah. Usman says, what now? What happened? JB says, yeah, Rocha has like 432 shows, not just his own channel, but then top 10 cinephiles. But hey, man, I got to get paid, son. I make, the original Rocky 4 is 90 minutes. All right. So then this one is 95 minutes. So this one's 95 minutes. Is Brennan going to bed? All right, Brennan, peace out, brother, man. Sleep well. Thanks for stepping in and hanging out with us tonight. We get Sweetest Victory at the beginning of the prelude. Yeah, we do get Sweetest Victory, it's placed in the wrong place. I don't know. I'm a purist. I loved Rocky 4 for what it was. I didn't think it was cheesy. This is like going and doing Wrath of... Justin, this is like going and redoing Wrath of Khan and removing all the smirky back and forth between Kirk and Spock and Kirk and McCoy. That's what this feels like. Would you be okay with that? To have more Khan scenes? To make it more dramatic, more serious? Streamline it? Is that what you'd want to see? Less with Dr. Marcus? Less with, what's his face? David Marcus? Yeah. Now, all that being said, so let's talk about what he put in the movie. Do I like what he put in the movie? Yes, I actually do. I do like the scenes with Adrian, the extra scenes with Adrian. I think they're really heartbreaking, especially the one on the stairs when he's just about to head to Russia. Ooh, that was tough to watch. The scenes with it, like I said, the scene with his son, I enjoyed. The scenes with him and Apollo, the extra stuff, it's shot so differently than what you remember the original Rocky IV. The angles he uses in this version, the footage that he uses, is completely different in terms of framing and focus placement than the original Rocky IV cut. So to me, it does change the film. And I enjoy getting more with Apollo. And, Rocky said, or Sylvester Stallone said, that one of the biggest regrets he has about Rocky IV is killing off Apollo. He said, I should have left him either with some kind of mental damage or brain damage, or left him possibly paralyzed so he could still be a mentor. And I understand his regret, but without it, if he doesn't make that decision, we don't have Creed. And I love Creed, and I love Creed 2. So to me, I'm okay with Apollo dying, even though I'm not a fan of him dying because I love Carl Weathers and enjoyed him in the series. It makes sense. The extra stuff with Duke, there's more stuff at the funeral. Like you hear Duke's eulogy for Apollo, which I think was really sweet. Rocky's eulogy for Apollo. Remember that scene just kind of ends in slow motion with him laying the belt on and what have you. But there's a lot more that Rocky says. It's really heartfelt and honest and real about Apollo's contribution to Rocky's life. And I thought that was an incredible acting moment from Stallone for sure. What else did they add? Oh, a little more with Drago. Some more individualistic things that you had in the scene with Drago before that you're like, oh, interesting. Okay. Didn't even know you were going that route with this character. So if nothing else, when you walk out of this film, you can understand or really grasp the power of an editor. How an editor can completely change the point of view of a film or what a film's trying to accomplish or what it's trying to go for. An editor can change all of that when they get their hands on the footage. And certainly MGM probably spent a pretty penny to find that old footage and clean it up and treat it and get it to match up with the footage of Rocky IV, with the footage that was released. So they certainly did that. So in the end, I would say absolutely go see it. Do not definitely watch it. Definitely rent it on digital or buy it on digital. I think you have every right to own it. I love Stallone to pieces, but that's my opinion. You guys wanted my review or my feelings about the film. That's my feelings about the film. I hope I haven't spoiled anything for anybody because, it's a film that's like, 30 years, 35, 36 years old. But the new stuff that's added, you can find clips of it online on YouTube. There's clips of the new stuff that's added, not the full clips, rather, obviously pieces of the stuff that's added. So you get the general vibe of what he was trying to do. But yeah, it's a completely different film. It's a lot more sparse. It's a lot more streamlined. The cheese, quote unquote cheese, that gave it its humanity, gave it its kind of funness, is gone. This is a much more serious film. And I was very surprised by that. And as I said, only a couple of jokes break through. Almost all the stuff at the press conference is there from Apollo when he's making comments about Drago and the man's tongue didn't come through customs. Oh, also the Russian guy who was Drago's kind of boss in the movie, he has more stuff to do. He has more lines. I think that actor passed away a while ago, but he's got more lines and he's got more screen time as well. He's much more the antagonist in this film than he even is in the original film. So pretty surprising stuff for sure. Yes, rent, absolutely, Justin. Rent and judge it for yourself. I never tell you not to see a film. I don't think I say that. I can tell you I didn't like the film. No. Dom, do they have more scenes with Drago's wife to flesh out a character? No, dude. She's barely in the movie. So it's an odd choice by Stallone. And I don't know if this is like him, still bearing a grudge towards Brigitte Nielsen, because obviously I think they were married for a couple of years or dated for a couple of years. And they were certainly seeing each other, which is how she got the job on Rocky IV. It's still, I'm not trying to denigrate her. I'm just saying she was dating him, and a Cobra, I think, is where they met. And then Rocky IV is how she did that with Rocky IV with him. So, but yeah, no, there's way less with her, dude. I thought there'd be more, like some quiet moments, intimate moments, maybe some scenes he shot with them in the hotel room after the press conferences, where you get to see a little more of Drago's, who he is as a person, his humanity, feel a little more sympathy for him, see how much, how she controlled the relationship, maybe a little bit more. And that would have tied into the Ludmilla we see in Creed 2, when she shows up at the dinner table and essentially emasculates Ivan and his son in front of all those people. They're the Russian top people there. So, yeah, there's less, bro. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. And I'm saying I don't like that she was cut out of the movie. I don't like that she was cut out of the movie. Oh, interesting that Dom thinks that John Walker was the bad guy. Interesting. That's fascinating. Do you think John Walker was the bad guy, Dom? Oh. Were there bad guys in Falcon and Winter Soldier? I'll tell you, the only bad guy is that fucking senator, who they didn't give any kind of comeuppance to other than a speech from Sam Wilson. And that senator should have gotten hauled out in front of a committee and absolutely lambasted. The president should have whooped his behind for the bullshit that he pulled. Taking a guy with PTSD, handing him the shield and throwing him out into the field with barely any training for that job. Not that he doesn't have training in a battlefield, but training for Captain America, for God's sakes. And then taking the shield away in some show trial. That was ridiculous. The senator was the real villain. And we got more with Hayward than we got with that senator. And we should have gotten more with that senator who was corrupt as fuck. And I wonder if that was Disney going, or Bob Chapek or Bob Iger, some of those people that were on Trump's business council saying, don't do politics. Don't put him in any side. It's like the show was about racism. How the fuck are we not going to do politics? Especially a senator doing the things that he's doing there to kind of mess up everything, taking the shield from a black man, handing it to a lily white man with PTSD issues, and what that implication is. So he's the real bad guy. Dom says, I love the bad guys' wives. Yeah, they were married. Okay, Reef, I didn't know that. They were married. Okay. I forgot. It's been a bit since I've kept track of Stallone's love life. So they were married for a little bit for sure. Let's see if we got any more Streamlabs that have come through here. Justin Toner says, I don't know if I agree with the Wrath of Khan changes comparison, but I get why you're bothered with the stuff missing. I miss some things like the scene of giving Adrian the birthday cake. Yes! The sweet connection with Adrian, the love that they have, the cuteness there. But I still enjoyed this cut. Love your take and get it. Respect, dude. Of course, if you enjoyed the take, I'm not going to take that away from you. Hey, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what people are mentioning here. So yeah, I mean, it's just my 2 cents on the situation, for sure. So, what do you guys think? Do you have any? Do you guys want to send in Streamlabs or send in any super chats? Feel free to do so here. We're going into the second hour. Talk about splitting the sheets. Hello. What some people call the cheese of Rocky IV, I call its charm. Absolutely. How are you going to remove the 80s from a movie about 80s geopolitical dynamics? Thank you so much, Gabe. That's a fantastic point, Gabe. Now, is there America versus Russia still in it? Yeah, but it's not as heavily hammered home as it was in the original cut. and so that was frustrating for me because, it was the height of the Cold War, the mid 80s. So I felt like it should have retained that. And this film makes it almost kind of a nondescript approach told in flashback about that issue through Apollo's words. And I was just like, that seemed a bit weird. Just seemed a bit weird. But, like I said, some people liked that you remove the cheese. I think it's going to be divisive. I think some people are going to like it, as Sean and Justin say they like it. And I think some people are going to be mad that they remove the cheese. The charm. Let me change that. The charm. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate that. The charm of the movie, the what makes it distinct, removing that. So it's frustrating. The ending of the movie. I don't know what that means. Which part? The speech? Sean, do you mean the speech? The speech was still there. So if anything you were going to cut, it should have been the speech. I've always hated that speech. I will always hate that speech. I make fun of that speech. But yeah. The speech is still in there. It's just different. It's way less like, if I could change, you could change, we could change. It's more like, if I can change and you can change, then maybe we can all change. And so just kind of, there you go. So that's my 2 cents on that. There you go. You wanted to hear what I had to say about it. Yeah. How can you love that speech, Justin? It's such a cheesy speech. In no way would Rocky be allowed to deliver that speech in Moscow. Let me just put that on the table right now. All right. It was enough that we were made to believe that the Russians would start cheering for Rocky. How many sporting events have you been to in the Olympics where you've seen the American get cheered by the Russian fans for beating the Russian? Tell me when that happened ever in the history of the Olympics, winter or summer. It's never happened. Yeah, nostalgia. Exactly. I missed this. I missed that from nostalgia. But yeah, I mean, I think the scenes work really well. I like the scenes. I got no issues with the scenes that Rocky, about Stallone included. The Duke scene, the Duke and Rocky scene in the cabin was really interesting. He changed the angle of that back and forth with him and Duke. There is still the close-up face-to-face, but then he pulls back. And I think in pulling back, we lost the effect of do it. And I loved that moment. Yeah, the tone is completely different, man. All right, we got 77 of you still left watching me. Thank you very much. If you haven't hit a like on this button, please hit a like on this. This video. Hit that like button. Give us some love overall here on the channel. All right, let's move on to what else I want to talk about. Have you guys seen this Travis Scott Astroworld Satan stuff or demon stuff? It's pretty insane. Let me pull it up here so I can make sure I get all the stuff here. I don't want to mess it up. Yeah. So TikTok, apparently, because at the Astroworld tragedy, sadly, 8 people died. You've seen some of the footage. You've seen Travis Scott still performing or looking at people as they're being tended to. Hundreds more were injured. And there have been a number of conspiracy theories that have been floating around on TikTok. And dozens of videos are suggesting, this from Rolling Stone now, they're suggesting that Scott was conducting a bizarre demonic ritual during the festival. And this has gone crazy viral. Much of it was focused on the layout of the stage, which some conspiracy theorists claim resembles an upside-down cross leading into a fire portal. One of the videos has 23 million views, features a hologram of a winged bat creature at the start of the show, framed by towers of the flames. The caption reads, "Not even 40 seconds in." So it's pretty crazy stuff. Uh-oh. Let me switch off my Wi-Fi. There we go. Oh, that's a shame. Another person succumbed to injury. That's a shame. Nine now. Oh wow, 9. Okay, so let me see if I can bring up some of these on here so you guys can take a look at this stuff because it is kind of crazy. What you see. Let me see if we got some TikToks. Yeah, so here are some of the comparisons people are making. And if you've got a queasy stomach, maybe look away. Or if you have issues with this kind of stuff, maybe look away. But yeah, here's some of the stuff they were saying that it's a satanic. Look how it kind of lines up with these images here. And this is guy's AC's. If the videos of him basically chanting as the dead were being carried away from his show was ritualistic and demonic. His soul is the devil's, is what they're claiming. Here, look at the shirt he's wearing, right? It's like going in as regular human beings. They go through the portal and come out with horns. So demons coming into the doorway. Of course, I love Carol Humphrey's response. It's just a t-shirt, guys. So very interesting stuff when you look at the. Now here's the. Oh, I don't want to play the audio, but let me turn down the audio so I don't get in trouble for that. But this is what they're saying. Some of the footage here. You see, right? It looks like a winged demon, a fire with wings demon there above the portal. So a lot of people are thinking that this was kind of indication of that, which is insane to think about. Seeing that wing portal. So I don't want to play too much. I don't want to get in trouble here or get the thing banned. I like that. I like that. But yeah, Demon. Okay, so here's
in the Travis Scott and Drake's.
Hold on. Here's the thing, and of course he's issued an apology and all of that. But supposedly, a demon shows up here, spotted in the crowd, wandering through the crowd. Right there. See that right there. So what does that mean? What is the madness of all of that? There's that right there. So you're seeing just kind of jump through. What is that? Who is that? Is someone just jumping off the stage? It's crazy. And here he is just watching, and he's just like singing something or whatever, but he is literally watching, almost like he's in a trance as someone is carted off there from and is obviously clearly someone who's died there, I believe, at the concert or just fell down. And a lot of people claim that these people, there was no reason for the things that were happening to these people. And here's the creepy one. And let me see if I can turn the sound down. Okay. Here's the creepy one where someone supposedly claims that they're seeing some sort of demon-like creature walk over the top of the portal at the festival. Now, that could be anything, right? Photoshop, could just be from far away, someone who's really skinny working on the crew. Who knows? But it's kind of madness. And then some people are out here claiming that Kris Jenner was involved in some way. So it's just kind of crazy, just really crazy how much people are talking about this and going crazy about it. And these views, I mean, this, like I said, there's 23 million views on some of these videos. And you just start to wonder in some of the comments that are being made throughout. Now look at this. Here's another poor person kind of, and because people said they don't understand how this happened. People just all of a sudden started dropping, and they had no idea why they were dropping. They had no idea what was happening to them. There was no real kind of like indication of what was happening. And I think there was a security guard who the head of the security guards claimed that one of the security guards was like stabbed with some kind of, or injected with some kind of needle. It was knocked out. So it's pretty insane. I'm not falling into conspiracy land, Cheryl. I'm just saying this is kind of interesting to take a look at and see all this stuff. It caught my eye, and I'll tell you who brought it to my attention. You guys are going to think I'm crazy, but my hairdresser was cutting my hair the other day, and she goes, did you hear about this? And she's like deep into Jesus land, and I respect that. She's got her point of view on it, but she was just like telling me all this shit. So I went and watched one of these videos, and I was just blown away by and so, some people do these videos and they kind of overstress moments, and maybe that's what they need to get as many views as possible. But some of these videos could do with a little bit of better editing. Let me just tell you, I wish I was in conspiracy land, because I tell you, I would edit better videos, more easily consumable videos. So yes, my hairdresser. So that's right, Dom. Is she real? Yes, she's real. Yes, Fantastic said the rumor is that fentanyl was being injected into people at this event. So pretty crazy stuff, man. Yeah, man, this is exactly, Justin. This is some whacked out conspiracy stuff. Yeah, but I don't know. For me, growing up supremely Catholic, growing up when I was younger, to me, it just was insane seeing this kind of stuff, because I take the heaven and hell stuff. I believe in that stuff. Like when you're Latino, you're taught pretty young about demons and about otherworldly creatures that walk the earth, and to be aware, and that humans can get possessed by devils and by demons. That kind of stuff is just standard in the world of Latinos, at least in my experience. Certainly, my mom and dad would tell me about little demons that would wander through the streets of Bolivia that they would see when they were younger. So it's insane. It's insane. So just letting you know, there's you want to blow it away, feel free to blow it away, but you just never know. And yeah, you're right, J-Dog. You're talking about those lawsuits. He is being sued up the yin yang by a number of people for this situation. And he did come out and apologize and express his heartfelt condolences to the families. I think he's offering to pay for the funerals of all the people who passed away at his concert. Yeah, there you go, Josh. Josh knows. See, Josh is from the deep South. Josh gets it. Josh knows even the deep South, that heaven and hell shit, that's possible. Josh knows. I grew up in the South as well. Like, being Latino and from the South, that's like double demon indoctrination, man. So Mabry knows. I bet Mabry's seen ghosts. I bet Mabry thought he saw a demon one night. I put it on the table. But he says dogs and cats living together. That being said, the videos did give me goosebumps. By the way, Josh, let's get in touch with your boy. If it has to be a rush job, let's make it happen. I want 3 designs. The goat with the O as the mask and the Outlaw Nation logo on the back. One Last Ride and Outlaw 316 on the back. Give me my damn match, in quotes. So that's the situation there. So Mabry, I'm telling you now on a live stream what I need. So let's make it happen. That's right. La Llorona. That's right. La Llorona. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. Yeah, Fireline Tim says, facts, Rocha. Exactly. You understand, So look, I don't want to incur any kind of demonic anything. I was just saying it's pretty insane to see that stuff there in the world. And who knows how much of those videos were photoshopped and what have you, but pretty interesting stuff for sure. So Sean has now grown horns on his head, so I don't know what that means. He's now part of the conspiracy theory. So we shall see. And I'm not trying to push that conspiracy theory. It's more a matter of like, wow, this is interesting. And the fact that it's being covered by Rolling Stone of all publications, that tells you there's a little bit of credibility to the madness. Yes, they're making fun of it in their articles, but they're still writing about it. So you can call them the Weekly World News all you want, but like when you see it, it's kind of interesting. So especially the one walking across the thing, that was really creepy, right? The walking across stuff, it's like what in Signs when they had that shot of the alien walking across in Brazil, like walking across that alleyway, and you're like, ah! So crazy stuff here. All right, we've got 8080 you got hanging out with me tonight. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're a little light on the Streamlabs and SuperChat, so anything you can do to help and send some support over the next 42 minutes would appreciate it. The fact that I'm staying up this late to hanging out with you all. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Let me know what you guys want to get into. I would appreciate it. Let's move on to the side eye from Carrie Underwood. Did you guys see this? Carrie Underwood, whose husband, hockey player husband, I can't remember what his name is. Mike's wife, Mike something, right? Mike something, right? And so, Mike Fisher. That's her husband. Now let's take a look at his statement he made about Aaron Rodgers. I'm sure you all know about the Aaron Rodgers situation. Yeah, that was right. Exactly. That was creepy, right? So there you go. But yeah, let's get into the Aaron Rodgers thing here. Mike Fisher, that's right. He's a hockey player. Thank you, J-Dog. He's a hockey player who supports Aaron Rodgers and the lies that Aaron Rodgers told to people in the press conference. Listen, he didn't fucking mislead anybody. He lied to people, okay? And I don't care what kind of PR statement he puts out. He lied to people. He did not mislead. If you were misled, I apologize if you were misled. No, bitch, why don't you apologize for lying to us or lying to the press or lying to people there? Don't give me that shit like misled crap. Anyway, Carrie Underwood liked this tweet from her husband, Mike Fisher, who's a hockey player, who said, I stand with Aaron Rodgers. I believe in the freedom to choose what we put in our bodies and the freedom of conscience. Of course, again, no one was saying that they were pissed off that Aaron Rodgers wasn't vaccinated, or no one no one on my side was saying that shit. I agree with him in that the science clearly shows the vaccinated spread COVID at basically the same rate as vaccine. That's an absolute fucking lie. There is no evidence or science that says COVID is spreading with the vaccinated at the same rate that it's spreading with the unvaccinated. In fact, Texas, of all places, somehow Greg Abbott fell asleep at the wheel. Jesus didn't take the wheel this time, and he allowed these figures to come out from Texas, where they showed that 92% of the cases of people who caught COVID over the last few months, over the last year, were people who were unvaccinated. 92%, okay? These motherfuckers are trying to push this idea that the science shows that it's the same because they've been on the wrong side of this issue. So they're going to find any evidence from any quack doctor, any quack publication to support their stance so they're not wrong. They don't want to be wrong. God forbid they ever admit they were fucking wrong about something like this. Now, Mike Fisher says that the NHL and the NFL and other leagues are ignoring the science and choosing to coerce and punish unvaccinated players with these restrictions. If they really cared about people's health, they would have daily testing for all. But these past 2 years has clearly shown us that this is not about our health. It's about control of our lives. That's bullshit. I won't stand for that. Oh, yeah, you had no problem. Anyway, it's time to fight for our medical freedom. And I feel for those that have been fired for choosing medical freedom. People losing their jobs over a medical choice is un-American and unacceptable. We need to stand up now before it's too late. That's ridiculous on so many levels. The thing with Aaron Rodgers is he could have chosen to be unvaccinated, absolutely, but there were parameters and protocols that he needed to follow. What he tried to do, and Mike Fisher's a white guy, what he tried to do was essentially assert white privilege. I want to have my cake and eat it too. That's what I want. I want to be able to petition the NFL with 500 pages of whack science to defend my exemption from vaccination. The NFL rejects it. Okay, since you participated in the process, then you have, at that point, surrendered the decision-making to the NFL. If the NFL says, hey, we reject your claim, you have to go into the protocol and follow the protocols of unvaccinated player, then it is your responsibility to follow the rules. You don't get to bitch and moan after you participated in the process about the result and then thumb your nose at the NFL and at the press. Yes, and the NFL knew it was unvaccinated, but the press did not know. And him coming out without a mask at these press conferences, and don't doubt that he did it because he wanted to stay on camera. He didn't want to do Zoom stuff. He wanted to be on camera because he likes the attention. He's a spotlight hog. He loves to go after the spotlight. Loves to he's the drama queen of drama queens in the NFL. He made that whole thing about, I'm never coming back to the Packers. Okay, maybe if you hire my friends, I'll come back to the Packers. Now that I'm back at the Packers, I'm not going to be vaccinated, but I'm going to be immunized, and I'm going to tell them I'm immunized. And then when you catch me, I'm going to say that it's the woke mob and PC culture that's coming after me. And to light up and to blow that logic up, Terry Bradshaw comes out and eviscerates Aaron Rodgers on Fox NFL Sunday. He didn't just express displeasure at what Aaron did. He eviscerated Aaron Rodgers for lying. He said, Maybe you should have come to the Naval Academy, which is where they were at when they were doing Fox NFL Sunday. Maybe you just should have come to the Naval Academy and learned how not to lie to people and how to be honest. Then all of a sudden, once he started seeing other people who were quote unquote not part of the PC mob or woke culture, or whatever the fuck he came up with, whatever buzzword he saw on Fox News, all of a sudden he came out and apologized and was like, oh, I apologize for if you were misled by some of the comments I made. If you were misled, again, not my fault. He never takes responsibility for anything. It's not my fault. If you were misled, if you were stupid enough to believe me, I apologize that you were stupid enough to believe me. That's essentially the subtext of what he was saying. I apologize that you were stupid enough to have faith in my words, that you were stupid enough to let me fool you. And that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Shailene Woodley, who supposedly calls out all these companies and, goes crazy about these companies, and as an activist is out here defending this madness. I get that it's your man, but you've got to be consistent, And so Aaron pushing this stuff allows more people to feel emboldened to be unvaccinated and catch this stuff or spread this stuff. And yes, it's not over. It's still spreading. In fact, there was a news article today talking about the possibility of a fifth COVID wave happening in this country. That's scary. And it's got nothing to do with this nonsense they're pushing about trying to keep you, medical freedom, trying to take away your rights, trying to make you do one thing or another. No, people get vaccinated all the time for multiple fucking things. Okay. You wear a fucking seatbelt, right? The seatbelt isn't always going to work, but you still wear the seatbelt because it actually does prevent accidents. Not all accidents or deaths. It doesn't prevent all deaths when you're wearing a seatbelt, but it can prevent your death. It shows a higher probability of preventing your death than not wearing a seatbelt. The same thing with vaccination. I can't wait to get the booster shot. I saw Gina Carano putting on her Instagram, I will not comply. I want to put on my Instagram, I happily complied. I comply again. Come find me so I can comply a fourth fucking time. Like, I want to do that on my arms to kind of push back on that nonsense. This narrative that they've fucking fabricated about this whole thing about freedoms, always about our freedoms. But meanwhile, people of color go, hey, what about our freedoms? Shut the fuck up and get back in your hole. What about our freedoms not to get shot 7 times in the back? What about our freedoms not to have an idiot kid drive 2 states hopped up on MAGA Jews to shoot 2 people in a riot, willfully looking for trouble because his mom got him all hyped up as well. His mom crying in the courtroom. Ridiculous. You're the reason this kid's in this situation. So all of that nonsense, they're always fabricating these fucking narratives. It drives me nuts, man. So anyway. All right. Let's hit some super chats have come through here. I want to give some love to Fireline Entertainment. Thank you, Fireline. Says thank you, Rocha, for all that you have done for our country, and thank you for being you. Thank you. Let's grab lunch and talk more about this Rocky film. Great show, night, bro. I don't even know. Do I know this person, Sean? Who is Fireline Entertainment? Is that Wiley? I don't know who that is. Who is Fireline Entertainment? Bro, I don't go meet up with strangers. No offense, man. I appreciate donating in the super chats, though. Thank you. But ask Sean. I haven't even met Sean in person, and Sean tried to deliver a cheesecake to my house. If I don't know you, we don't meet up. That's how it goes. If I don't know you, we don't meet up. But I appreciate you. Check your IG and Twitter for my message, bud. Talk to you soon. I appreciate that, Fireline. But yeah. What is this? Did you see he wore Rise of Skywalker? Right. He wore a Rise of Skywalker sweater. No, but listen, Dom, he did that on purpose. So let's move over to Aaron Rodgers. He's essentially the basis for. But no, wait. Before we get to Dom's thing, let's watch the Carrie Underwood side eye. This is how we started this whole thing. I want to see if I've got the side eye here, if they have the thing, because Luke Bryan, one of my favorite performers, made a comment. And I don't know if they've got the video. Do they have the video? Do they not allow the video? Oh, really? No results? No results for the video? Come on, there's got to be video of him delivering this joke. All right. Well, anyway, he delivered this joke. What did he say? He said, we're following all the health protocol. He was at the CMA Awards. He opened it up with this monologue. And he said, we're following all the health protocols to keep everyone safe. And it's so great. Oh, yeah. Here, I'll share it with you guys. I don't want to just read it. I'll share it with you guys. Here it is. We're following all the health protocols to keep everyone safe. And it's so great to be here with all my fellow artists, tested and together. Or immunized. Who is it? Just playing. And the joke was a reference to that. So let's take a look at Carrie's face. When he made that joke, there you go. Side eye. Look at that side. She's like, I think you're so funny. But I love that there's a black woman right behind her laughing along with it because she gets that, guess what, sensitive? It's a fucking joke. And certainly the people on the right, like Carrie Underwood, like her husband, Mike Fisher, they're always like, woke culture, PC culture. You can't say anything. But you make an immunized joke and you get the Karen side eye from Carrie Underwood, Carrie Underwood. It's ridiculous. Karen Underwood. It's ridiculous to me when you see stuff like this. It's like, come on. If you're going to complain about one side, but then be hypocritical about the other side, get the fuck out of here. It's ridiculous. And, I've heard from quite a few people about how she is behind the scenes, and it ain't that she is not the nicest person. So no surprise that she is given the whole kind of side eye. But it's a shame to see that. It's a shame to see that. It's like, dude, it was a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. So our Fireline claims that we know each other now, Sean. I don't know who it is. Alan. It's Alan. Alan who? Alan. Do I know an Alan? I know an Alan Stevens. He was a son of a bitch. He was my bully in high school. Fucker. But I don't know. Do I know an Alan? Interesting. Charlie says Henry Cavill is rumored to be the new Captain Britain. That would be great. I love Henry Cavill. Give me Henry Cavill as Captain Britain. I love Captain Britain. If we're opening the door to Captain Britain, let's bring it. What is that? X-Force? Is that Captain Britain as X-Force? Am I right on that? Someone to clarify that? I think that is Captain Britain as X-Force. Let me see here. Because I probably still have those comics somewhere in my collection. Wasn't Captain Britain X-Force? Yeah. Uncanny X-Force number 20, Captain Britain and the Captain Britain Corps. That's right. So, yeah. That's right. Yes, he's a Brian Braddock. That's right. Isn't he connected to what's-her-face? Let's see. His character was endowed with extraordinary powers by the legendary Merlin and his daughter Roma. But isn't he Psylocke? Is he not Psylocke? Or Betsy Braddock. Isn't there a Betsy Braddock? Am I wrong on this? Yeah, I might be wrong on this. Oh, well, you know what happens. There's so many Marvel people, man. For God's sakes, give me a break. I'm doing the best I can. Oh, yeah, Franklin Richards is connected to him. So that could make sense. Yeah, Uncanny X-Force. That's right. So there you go. Captain Britain. Does it say? It doesn't say if he's related. So maybe one of you can confirm that or not confirm that for me. I would appreciate it. Mabry says, tell us how you really feel, Rocha. Yeah, no offense. No offense, Josh. I love you, Josh Mabry. But it's me, Alan from the Schmodown. LOL. Yeah, I don't know Alan from the Schmodown. Who is Alan from the Schmodown? You got to be more specific. Yes, Psylocke and Captain Britain. Oh, yes, thank you, Justin. Nailed it. It's all in here, son. It all comes out. It's in the hat sometimes, but it all comes out, for God's sakes. It ends up in the hat, leaks through the hats. Alan from the Schmodown. Be specific. Go to my Instagram. Once you see my face, you'll be like, do Davey? I know you. Do Davey. All right. I'm going to go to my Instagram right now. I see no messages from anybody. They dropped the first two events of Hawkeye. Apparently there was a London screening. Why the fuck wasn't I invited to that, man? Let's get Rocha invited to the screenings for the Hawkeye. Oh, have they dropped them on Disney Plus yet? Ooh, if they've dropped them on Disney Plus, John Rocha will be doing that tomorrow. I see requests. I don't see any messages from Fireline Entertainment. Nope. I don't see anything on the Instagram, pal. Are you sure you sent me something? Maybe in the general? Nope. I don't see any messages from you, bud. So I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe this is a way to promote your own. Oh, Alan. Oh, Alan. Oh, yeah. What's up, bud? Oh, that's right. Alan does all those fight videos. That's right. I remember that. But I don't live in LA, Pally. So what? Perry. So clearly they dropped. Someone got a hold of them. I don't know how they dropped. So I'm a little frustrated and get them. So that's a shame. That's a shame. You two, no, we're fine, Dom. Calm it down. Don't be jealous, Dom. Don't be jealous. Don't be jelly, dude. It's not a good look on you. Don't be peanut butter and jelly. That's right. I said that. That's right. I said that. So anyway, what was I? Oh yeah, Dom was. So I showed you the side eye. What did Dom say? What else did Dom say? Yeah, Excalibur. Right, Excalibur. What did Dom say that I wanted to address earlier? Oh yeah, right. Aaron Rodgers was the source for all of this, right? The source of all this situation, and he went on there on the Pat McAfee show. He's wearing that Rise of Skywalker. He wore that on purpose. Okay, I want to make that really, really clear. He wore that Rise of Skywalker hoodie on purpose. He wanted, he's wearing a divisive movie shirt. And for those people who fervently defended Rise of Skywalker, you see him wearing a Rise of Skywalker shirt, and maybe they have second thoughts about coming after Aaron Rodgers. And now maybe even they pseudo-defend Aaron Rodgers because he likes their movie that they love. So it was a brilliant move by him. PR move. Don't listen. Aaron Rodgers is playing this game. He knows how to play this game. And he wore that hoodie on purpose to mess with people and to infuriate the nerds on the other side of it who don't like the movie, don't like his stance. So when he talks about the woke culture, PC mob, those are the people he's addressing, the people who might get upset about him wearing a Rise of Skywalker hoodie. Because in his mind, he thinks it's a bunch of nerds sitting at home, blah, blah, blah. So he likes to make fun of that situation. But I just didn't understand the reaction that he had there, where he was like going after people and going after the PC culture, the woke mob, all that. Like, you were just hosting Jeopardy, bud. Why are you going to be out here trying to alienate half the country? It doesn't make sense. And if you want a career post the NFL, yeah, you're going to have somewhat of a fan base. But I think he realized, State Farm dropped, although they issued that statement where they stood by him, but they don't agree with his point of view. They dropped the percentage of State Farm ads that were showing on Sunday that had him on them. They went from the usual 25% of the State Farm ads that had Aaron Rodgers down to 1.5%. So they can issue whatever statement they want. They also did brand saving by removing the amount of Aaron Rodgers State Farm ads they had going up on Sunday during the NFL games. And now the question becomes, how many of those ads are going to come back this Sunday? We don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is playing this Sunday because he's still under the COVID protocol, but he might test negative and be fine to go on Sunday. And the thing is, people are listening. People who can't afford the medicine that these rich people are using to get over, like Rogan and Aaron Rodgers, Trump, all these people that have access to high-end medicine, Joe Bob and Mary Sue or Jaime or Terrence are not going to have access to this shit. They're not going to have access to the mono Columba, whatever they're coming up with that they found, like a DeSantis pushing that nonsense. They're not going to have access to that kind of shit. And so they're being irresponsible with their podium. Same thing with Corrado. Corrado's got money. She's fine. She can get the best medicine ever. But the regular people in this country can't get their access to that medicine, or their insurance companies won't approve it. There'll be high premiums on it. And so it's irresponsible to mess with people like this. And because you're not the one that's going to go down in the fight. Their family members are going to go down. Their friends, their significant others, their children Look at all those children that died in those southern states over the last 6 months because of the no mask mandate. Don't you dare put a mask on my child. I'm going to a school board and acting like an ass so you can stop doing this to my child. And meanwhile, children are dying left and right from this situation. And they're still trying to excuse it like the flu. The most ignorant of them keep trying to say it's no different than the flu. Still, that stupid excuse. And you start to wonder, like, where's the limit for all of this? Because 700,000 Americans have died. I'm going to tell you right now, if Obama was president, Biden or Obama was president, and 700,000 Americans, if he was as casual and stupid and political as Trump was about the vaccines and everything like that and where he was going to send, they would have not only stormed the Capitol, they would have stormed the White House, they'd have stormed everything that Joe Biden was at. But somehow Trump gets a pass for all those people that have died. And people still keep pushing the nonsense about COVID. You know, the QAnoners, even the hippies on the left who've gone way off the reservation onto the QAnon side of things push that nonsense. So it's just crazy. You know, I'm not saying that some people can't be immunized against COVID naturally. Of course, not a virus isn't going to kill everybody. It'll skip some people, but they're not the rule. They're the exception to the fucking rule. And why not be safe? You know, I don't know why it kills you to wear a mask. I don't know why it kills you to get the vaccination. Look at how many people don't have any issues after taking the vaccination. You know, they go sick for a day or two, and then they're fine. And how many people who didn't take it and died issued comments, videos, Facebook posts, dying comments, dying wishes for people to get vaccinated. Nobody who's been vaccinated and is dying of COVID has issued any kind of videos like that. It's only the unvaccinated go, I should have listened. I should have gotten vaccinated. I should have done better for my body. I mean, the Lord says your body is your temple. Look, I'm a Catholic. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian. God said that your body is your temple. And so if you're doing things that exposes your body to a fatal disease for nothing more than stubborn misbelief or misinformation, then, you know, you're insulting that temple. And that's dangerous. I had Chick-fil-A tonight. So, you know, I'm doing my own insulting of my own body, of my own temple. I'm just saying, I'm happy to get vaccinated. I'm happy to get that booster. I'm looking forward to when I get I think next week I get approved for the booster thing. Yeah, exactly. All of the others who died because the hospitals have been swamped with patients. That is the real tragedy. Exactly. Charlie says, my cousin is a nurse. It has been a literal war zone with the healthcare industry. No surprise. No fucking surprise, Charlie. No fucking surprise. It's a shame. Oh, man. It's amazing. Like if my mom died because some selfish motherfuckers didn't get vaccinated and took up a hospital bed, I don't know what I'd do, to be honest with you. And I know this is being recorded. This is on a show, but I don't know what I do because my mom got vaccinated. My mom took care of business. And because your selfish, stupid ass didn't get it, and now you got COVID, you know, I don't think you deserve the same care and treatment as someone who's been vaccinated. I just don't. Oh, well, that's my own personal opinions. The opinions of the Outlaw are not the opinions of John Rocha or the Outlaw Nation. I should make that very clear. I don't know. Can I say that? I don't know. Can I get away with that technicality? I feel like I can. Anyway, get vaccinated. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, I don't want to cast those of you who are not vaccinated, please get vaccinated. I want you to live. I want you to live. I'm only mad at you because you're not vaccinated. I'm only mad at you because you're not getting this thing that will keep you alive. You know, and you're listening to rich people who will get the best treatment if they get COVID. Like Aaron Rodgers bragging about how he felt better 3 days later. Or Joe Rogan bragging. Yeah, because they threw all kinds of shit in your body that you could afford. But most people are not going to be able to afford that. Or if they are, or if they take them, it's going to be like $30,000 that they owe. It's going to put them in debt. All because you believed a bunch of people spouting the nonsense. So it's a shame. It's such a shame. All right. Where are we next? Where are we right now? What's next on the rundown? What have we got left on the rundown? Here we go. Philly G sent in a Streamlabs. Says, good evening, Rocha. Hello, Philly G. Did you see Mark Hamill's reaction to Aaron Rodgers' interview? He was not happy that Rodgers was wearing a Star Wars shirt while on that podcast. Of course, who did Rodgers go to for medical advice? The nation's top doctor, Joe Rogan. Absolutely. After Joe Rogan made a whole campaign going after CNN, going after Sanjay Gupta, Dr. Gupta, about, getting him on his show and go, why didn't you tell the people at CNN to stop talking shit about me? And it's like, why do you care, man? You're fucking so rich off that Spotify deal. People are pouring money into your show, and you give a fuck what CNN says about you. What's wrong with you, man? And that's the truth, man. Entertainers, most sensitive people in the world, biggest snowflakes in the world are entertainers. Doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum they are snowflakes. And that's the truth, because they're sensitive people, and little things like that. Like, who cares if they said that shit? He didn't lose any followers. He didn't lose any listeners. He didn't lose any money. He did his thing, but he wanted to bring Sanjay Gupta to make a point. Going after poor Sanjay Gupta, going after him. He's just a doctor, man. And you want to go after him, you want to browbeat him, you want to bully him and make fun of him, and then make fun of CNN through him. It was just so, I don't know, poor form overall. We were talking about vaccines. Yes, we were, Vincent. Let's see what else we got here. Thank you, Philly G. I appreciate it. And yes, I did see Mark Hamill's reactions. I think Mark said, of course, of course he has to wear a Star. Why did he have to wear a Star Wars thing? I think is what he said. Why do you have to wear a Star Wars jersey? I think what he said, which I think so. Yeah, he goes, of all the sweatshirts he could have worn, he had to take full responsibility in that one. And Mark, I'd hate to correct the great Mark Hamill, but he didn't take full responsibility. He blamed other people for being stupid enough to trust him, which was ridiculous on so many levels. Let's see. Justin says, I've never had Chick-fil-A, but there's one in Rochester named just emptying to try their food. Yeah, there you go. All right. Yeah, entertainers want to be loved. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, all right. Fantastic donated. Thank you, Fred. He said, stupid people abound. All you have to do is listen to what they say and watch what they do. They can't help but reveal themselves. It's funny how privilege is substituted for intelligence. Stay strong, people. Vigilance. Oh. So speaking of privilege, here's the left thing that happened here. I want to read you this. Where is it? Variety issued. This is what I get for getting out of Twitter. So Variety put up this article today. I sent it to some friends of mine to talk about. And I'm going to read you through. I'm going to run you through this thing so you guys see what I'm talking about. Where is it? Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay. And it shows a little bit of privilege. As a Latino, it frustrated the hell out of me. All right. Here, let me share it. We can read through it together. It goes to show you that privilege can exist in any community. Any community. So here it is. Netflix comedy Uncoupled drops Latina housekeeper character as veteran actor speaks out, I'm fed up. The veteran actor they're referencing here in this article is Ada Maris. And she's been in a number of things in NBC drama Nurses, 1986 About Last Night. Most recently, she was in FX's Mayans MC and HBO Max's The Garcia. She was dismayed by the script she got. She said she was really excited about getting the script. She said she'd been excited when her agent told her that Netflix was casting for a series to star Neil Patrick Harris. Then she read the sides for the role of Carmen, the housekeeper for Neil Patrick Harris's Michael, in the script for the first episode penned by Darren Star and Jeffrey Richmond for Jax Media and MTV Studios. You guys know Darren Star. He did a number of younger. He did I think he's part of Beverly Hills 90210 and all of that. You know, shows that really showed you minorities and diversity in their casting. Anyway, she got the script and she said, when I opened it and saw that it wasn't even funny, it was hurtful and derogatory, I was shocked because I walked in expecting something very different, given the way things are nowadays and the progress we've made. Now, Netflix spokesman said, "We're sorry that Miss Maris had a negative experience, and this character will not appear in the series." Now, the character, as I said, she's the maid, she's the housekeeper rather, for Harris's Michael in the script for the first episode. The character has 2 scenes. Carmen is introduced as being, quote, nearly hysterical on the phone with Michael because she thinks there's been a burglary in the apartment when she sees that Colin's possessions are missing. And this is what she says in the phone. "Mister, I just get here and they stole." In 2021, we're still doing stupid shit like that with Latino characters. "Mister, I just get here and they stole." In 2021. And this is a show created by a gay man in Darren Star, starring a gay man in Neil Patrick Harris. But what's the commonality here? They're both white. So this is what I'm getting at. White privilege exists regardless of whether you're in a disenfranchised minority, like the LGBTQ community is, or if you're a straight white dude, a straight white woman. It exists in all fucking groups. And it's insane that she had to take the stand. Of course, they reached out to Neil Patrick Harris' spokesman, nothing to say about it. Darren Star, nothing to say about it. Netflix had to do all the apologies and remove the character. And apparently the other scene is just as bad. But like, what are you thinking in your fucking head when you're writing in 2021 for a housekeeper and you go, let's find the most stereotypical thing? These are 2 gay men. And I think before I say it, Miss Murrah said it. What did she say? She said, "You are modern gay men. How would you like to watch or play an outdated, offensively stereotypical gay part?" And Neil Patrick Harris can't claim he didn't fucking know about this. He's the lead of the show. You fucking know he read the scripts. He's an executive producer on this thing. He's in some ensemble actor or whatever. And I'm seeing a name like Tony Hernandez. That's a Latino name. And if Tony Hernandez is a Latino in Jack's Media and he didn't call it out, he's as much to blame, maybe even more to blame as a white person, as Darren Star or Neil Patrick Harris. Lily Burns, this is a woman. Would you want to see a stereotypical woman, Lily Burns, in this part? Or have a woman written in a stereotypical way, dependent on her man in order to speak? Like, this is the kinds of things you look at this. They dropped the character, but they didn't drop the character because they looked at it again and felt like it should be taken out. No, they dropped the character because Ada Maris stepped forward and said, and this is ridiculous. She sent the letter. This is not Rosalind Sanchez or Jennifer Lopez or Salma Hayek. This is a well-respected character actress who's worked in the business for a number of decades who called them out for this nonsense. They started filming this show last month in New York. She wrote an open letter to Harris and Starr and shared it with Variety. And I love this. She says she hopes to encourage the creative community to be vigilant about stereotypes, even at a time of great opportunities for creators from underrepresented backgrounds. Yeah, she said that in one of her comments. She was very happy to see that more and more Latin shows are coming, more and more Latino characters are being developed that are nuanced, complex, have multiple levels to them, multiple sides to them. She was very happy to see that. And she said sometimes people have to sit with the discomfort. I would hope they would rethink this. I would hope they would recognize the harm that it does to everyone, both to people who are Latino and people who are not. And that's the fucking truth. You got to call it out when you see it, no matter how uncomfortable it is. I recently had to call out a couple of friends of mine who are white and are part of that disenfranchised community or underrepresented minority in the community, because I was like, hey, you guys, you're acting a little bit white privilege. And they didn't like that. And the thing is, you got to call it out when you see it. And the thing is, you're not calling it out to be like, dude, you're an idiot. You're calling out to be like, hey, stop. Take a look at what you're saying. Take a look at what you're doing here. Take a moment and understand you're coming from a place of privilege. And I think it's important to call that out when you see it happening, because you're trying to change people's hardwired mindset about certain situations. And I'm wondering if these guys felt like some liberals feel like in this town or in LA, where they're like, well, I'm an ally. I couldn't possibly be racist. I couldn't possibly be, blah, blah, blah. And it's ridiculous, It's just like, they kept me off FYC, and I pushed them twice for 2 years. I said, you got to have a critic of color on that show. And twice they stopped me from being on this show. Twice they said, no, we've got our 3. No, it's a meritocracy. You got to earn your way through. Imagine if I had come out at the time, and I think now I should have tweeted about it and said, hey, I just tried to get on FYC, but I was told by the executive producer who's white and by the owner who's Cuban that I can't be on the show, that they're happy just staying with 3 white critics. Nothing against those 3 white critics. This is a different thing, right? It's nothing against those 3. It's just that, hey, here I am reviewing films for you for 2 fucking years. And how are you? I guarantee you they wouldn't have pulled that shit in 2020. After Black Lives Matter, all of a sudden, all these white people on these websites, all these white people in entertainment, all of a sudden figured it out. Well, some of them did. I still see YouTube channels or websites with almost all white hosts or all white male hosts, which is insane to me. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing in 2021? Why do you think people want to listen to your point of view on this without diversity being an inherent part of it? Last thing I want to listen to is 3 frustrated middle-aged white men try to tell me what the fuck is up in the world of entertainment. That makes no sense. So I've had to go up against stuff all the time. Man, I got no problem with the fight. I don't mind the fight. I had a long list of things to say about my former job, and I was talked out of it by a white person. And a piece of me feels like maybe I shouldn't have been. And I should have taken the hits and spoke out about it. But it is what it is. I'm happier doing what I'm doing now than I ever was happier there. Standing in line, waiting for someone else to decide if I was worthy enough to cover something. Waiting for someone else to decide if I was worthy enough to review a film. If I was worthy enough to make the front line of talking about a movie. I was even removed from videos because they didn't want me to bring up race. I was told to tone down talking about race, and because we were getting a lot of dislikes. Our videos are getting a lot of dislikes. Imagine that happening in 20. It's amazing how in 2019 that was totally okay. But in 2021 now, some of the same people who pulled that shit would be like, oh my God, no, of course, please come on the video. Please talk. All of a sudden, the awakening, the unconscious racism, whatever the term they came up with, a white person came up with to cover that shit, So to me, it's like what you're trying to do is it isn't Vogel and Shannon. It wasn't Vogel and Shannon. Cut it out, JMB. It wasn't Vogel. Those are my boys. But like it's just frustrating on so many levels. So, but anyway, I'm not trying to say anything negative. I'm just saying that that was my experience, full on. And I'm not gonna lie about my experience. That's my experience, And as a person of color, at no point have any of them ever reached out to me like, hey, we didn't treat you fairly or we didn't treat you right. I tried to write for them as well, and I write some things, and then certain people would pull rank, or certain people would be like, nah, it doesn't make sense, or I'm not going to help you write the story. It should just come easily written, and I don't have to do any editing, but I'm an editor of the site, but I don't want to do any editing. I don't have time to do anything. Or the head of the writers, the guy who runs that whole side of things, being like, you know what? We don't work past 5 p.m. on a Friday. You're getting your article a little late to us. And it's like, motherfucker, you guys have worked past 5 p.m. on Friday numerous fucking times. And unfortunately, people get let go from that place now because they don't kiss the ass of that one person constantly. That person loves having his ass kissed because he's got a big Rolodex. And if you don't kiss that ass, you get fired or you get let go. Or if he doesn't like you, you get let go. So I'm very happy doing what I'm doing and enjoying it. But I am happy to see that more people of color are writing for Collider. That was something that really frustrated me, and I wanted to make a big deal about when I was there. So seeing people writing, Rafael, I think it's Rafael Montemayor, who's writing on, he works the weekend desk for them. Very happy to see more Latinos, more people of color writing for Collider. And they've changed management. So that's good to see that they're understanding that they were way too white of a writing staff, almost all white writing staff, saying like, hey, you need diversity in studios and TV shows and all this kind of shit, but not in our writing staff. But you guys need more diversity. It's like, fuck are you doing, man? So anyway. No, yeah, thank you, Stormy. I appreciate that. She says, Stormy says, that really sucks that you weren't valued there. I think you're awesome, and I'm glad you're happy. Yeah, it's a weird thing because they also taught me a lot. I also learned a lot while I was there. So it's a weird kind of like, what do you call it, Stockholm syndrome type situation, you know? I was always trying to prove myself, constantly trying to show what I could do. But when you have a disinterested owner, when you have people who are kind of out for themselves, angling, having closed door meetings so they can have access to more stuff, when you get accused of wanting to be on everything, when people make fun of you in the Slack. And by the way, I've screen grabbed a bunch of comments from my former coworkers that they made at my expense. So that if anything ever comes out, I've got the receipts to show some of the mistreatment that I suffered. And I'll give you one quick example. Someone said, oh, they had to remove. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring it up. I'm not going to bring it up to show you guys, but I'm going to bring it up to refresh my memory so I get it correct. God, if Sean saw my desktop right now, he'd lose his fucking mind. He would lose his fucking mind. Oh, Sean, I'm sorry about the desktop. It's horrific. Let me see if I can find it. It's under Collider, right? I always have the stuff under Collider. Yeah, here we go. Do I have it? And it's no surprise that they took down my all the Collider sports stuff. The bitterness is deep. So one of the comments on the Slack was let me see, what's the source of it? Did I only grab one? Yeah. So someone made a comment about so we'd be able to take Rocha out of all the videos. And one of my bosses chimed in and says, it says unwanted objects. So yes, ha, 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 ha. Now, they might have meant it as a joke, but when you're struggling to get anything or to do anything on that channel or to get access to bigger things on that channel, and you're constantly being stonewalled, people making fun of you being an unwanted object, no one thought, hey, are we being inconsiderate? Are we factoring that he's a Latino working with an almost all white hosting staff, trying to establish himself, trying to get more experience doing this business? Instead of nurturing me, they constantly tried to put walls up to stop my advancement. People were threatened by me. People felt like, oh, you know, or that I didn't deserve it. Even my love of the Transformers movies was used against me in certain situations. It's like, okay, like none of you like terrible fucking movies, right? You all just love great movies. Every single one of you only loves great movies. So yeah, it's just how frustrating and these are people who go out here and talk about, you know, we need to be equal to everybody. We need, you know, equal rights and blah, blah, blah. And here they were, you know, constantly harping on shit. I'm a hungry motherfucker. hungry. I wanted to learn. I wanted to get better. You know why? Because I wasn't 20 years old when I started doing this business. You know, Christian, I love Christian to pieces, but Christian was one of those people who's like, you don't need to do a bunch of shows. If I hadn't done a bunch of shows, I wouldn't have survived the firing. By keeping Top 10 and Cinephiles, even though it was costing me so much time in my life, I was able to fall back on that to help me as a springboard to jump into starting my own channel. So it's just those things that I do things my way. I know what works for me, and I know what's the best thing to do for me. And I wanted to learn. I wanted to write more. I wanted to do more. And yes, they were like, hey, why don't you pitch more stuff? Why don't you pitch more stuff? But they didn't keep nurturing me. Okay, let's focus on one pitch. Let's focus on one pitch. Towards the tail end, before they let me go, one of the writers there, she was really great at helping me. And I'll never say anything negative about her because she was great. She was always in my corner. She was always dealing with the fact that I was hosting or trying to host or co-host multiple shows on the channel, doing all those things and write. It wasn't easy, right? So they liked using me for the workhorse that I was, but they weren't giving me access to the top shit. Yeah. Or occasionally I get Stallone. Why? Because that film was getting so much crap for being supposedly a MAGA film that they're like, oh, let Rocha do it. Or Equalizer 2. I got to interview Denzel Washington, right? But did I get to go do the sequel of Jumanji? No. Someone else stepped in and took the sequel of Jumanji away from me when I should have been doing it. If you look at my interview with The Rock, it was like 500,000 views with The Rock and Jack Black and Kevin Hart. So logically, I should have done that junket. Why didn't I do that junket? Well, because somebody who was in charge said, we don't want to promote Rocha. We're going to promote this person. This person needs to be our lead person. I was even talked out of trying to apply for the Broadcast Film Critics Association because they said, no, we only want one critic per outlet. That's the shit I had to fucking deal with constantly. The ball busting, the fucking constant. They didn't understand. They didn't get it that I was trying to learn. They thought I was being egotistical and selfish and wanted to put myself in all the videos. Fuck no, man. I was trying to learn. But they only see it from a warped, limited point of view. And it frustrated me because I wasn't trying to take anyone's spotlight. I was trying to share or to have the spotlight get shared with me. I was trying to learn so I get better, so I could have access. But other people go like, you need to put in 10 years like I did. You need to suffer like I did. And it's like, well, no, because I didn't grow up the same way you did. I didn't go through the ranks the same way you did. My experience is different than yours. Why don't you not make me live through your fucking misguided hell and try to understand me? So those are the things I had to deal with constantly. And so it doesn't mean that I didn't make mistakes. Of course I made mistakes. Still learning. It didn't mean I had moments where we had disagreements and maybe I was in the wrong in the disagreements. Of course. I mean, I even had a moment where someone got upset at me who was higher above me, yelled at me and said, you're Rocha, you're just trying to be in every video. He yelled it out for the whole fucking staff to hear, which of course, when you have a boss or one of the heads of a department embarrass you in front of everybody else, how does everybody else have respect for you? And the next day he brought me cookies that his fucking wife made. Said, hey, I'm going to try to make it up. Do you want some cookies? My wife made some cookies. I'm sorry about yelling at you. No, man, fuck your cookies. Do better. Understand. Try to understand me. Try to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. Pull me into your office and have a conversation going, Rocha, I want to understand where you're coming from. I want to know what you're all about. I want to know what you want. I've had to fight for everything in this business. Everything I've had to fight for. But when they open the door, I knock it out of the park. So anyway, oh, Josh, thank you. Wow. Josh, thank you. Josh, thank you. That is, bro, that is super kind. He says, thank you for all that you have done and continue to do for our country. Also, a shout out to my brother for his service in the Air Force. He was an extra on Transformers 2 when he was stationed in New Mexico. It was shot around Holloman Air Force Base. Shout out to him. Absolutely. And thank you. Shout out to you, Josh Mabel. What a very kind donation, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm, going in. Sometimes I go into this thing. So yeah, I apologize, y'all. I hope I haven't offended anybody. Collider tell-all book would be fascinating. Oh yeah. Oh, I can spill all the tea. I mean, I don't need to go on somebody's YouTube show to try to save my brand or my face when one of my underlings tweets something really stupid and lies. I mean that you watched that interview was there were so many untruths being told in that interview. It was just fascinating. All right. Let's see here. Justin Toner says, thanks for sharing that article on your own experience, John. I appreciate it. I get paid tomorrow so I can finally go buy some Criterion Collection Blu-rays for 50% off at Barnes & Noble and pre-order Citizen Kane 4K2. Great show tonight. Thank you, bud. I appreciate that. Thank you, Justin Toner. You're the best, my man. All right, let's do this thing. So let's wrap up the show. Saul's offended. Hello. Saul's offended. All right. Saul, are you going to Spectacular? Charlie is exactly right. Grow the pie. Everyone shines and the pie gets bigger and everyone can eat. But thing is, but when you've got people who are taking out their personal biases or restricting you from certain things because they're threatened, then what you're dealing with is really some unresolved mental health issues or some unresolved self-worth issues that need to be explored, so. But that's this business, man. This business is full of people who need to see therapists and psychiatrists and deal with self-worth and self-esteem issues. Lord knows I still deal with them every once in a while. So, Criterions are on sale, brother, man. Barnes & Noble, 50% off. Go get it. Go fill up your satchel. All right, so where are we going? Oh, that's right. Let's jump into this thing. Pie is gross. Pecan pie is good. I like cherry pie. All right, so let's wrap up the show here. Doing the top 10 best war movie America. So I made this list, best American war movies of all time. I tried to kind of talk about them impromptu, but I'm so much better live than I am in pre-produced videos because I've got to write out everything in pre-produced videos, and that kind of gets frustrating for me. So let's jump into this. All right, from 10, at number 10. So I'm doing this in honor of Veterans Day. I'm going to wrap up the show with this. Top 10 American war films. It's really not called Saltacular. It's not called Saltacular. You kind of have to be playing for it to be called Saltacular. When Jericho said Raw is Jericho, it's because he was actually doing a fight. He was actually doing a match there at Raw. That's why he was called Raw is Jericho. You can't call it your name when you're not even going to fucking be there to compete, for God's sakes. All right, so the top 10 American war films in honor of Veterans Day. And you say to yourself, oh, why are you talking about American war films? Well, it's American Veterans Day, but also war films. And some people might be like, oh, are you glorifying war or saying that the Veterans Day is about glorifying war? Not at all. This might surprise some of you, but Hollywood's a pretty liberal place. So a lot of these war films are actually masquerading as anti-war films if you look beyond the surface. So let's get into the list here. Number 10 is From Here to Eternity. I think that came out in 1953. That's a Best Picture winner, directed by Fred Zinnemann, who also directed High Noon and Oklahoma, and I think A Man for All Seasons and The Day of the Jackal. This one stars Burt Lancaster, Montgomery Clift, Deborah Kerr, Donna Reed, Frank Sinatra, Ernest Borgnine, and even Superman from the 1950s. George Reeves is in this movie in a small cameo. Claude Akins is in this movie, and so is Jack Warden. Basically, the movie takes place a few days before Pearl Harbor on a base in Hawaii. Burt Lancaster is the sergeant who is having an affair with Deborah Kerr, who is the wife of his commanding officer. And Montgomery Clift plays this guy who is I think it was Robert E. Lee Pruitt, I think his name is, but he's a soldier, but he's a boxer, and he's an excellent boxer. And they're trying to get him to box for the regimental team so that they can win the competition or the tournament or whatever. But he doesn't want to box for them because a few months ago he blinded a kid in the ring. So he realizes how powerful his hands are, and he doesn't want to use them. Right? Again, anti-war film, does not want to fight. This whole thing going on throughout. And Sinatra plays Maggio, this young, skinny Italian kid who drinks all the time, mouths off all the time, kind of breaks the rules all the time. And he gets into the crosshairs of Ernest Borgnine's character, who's nicknamed Fatso. It's the 1950s, the kind of, but he's a pretty evil guy in the film, and ends up having a tragic altercation with Maggio. And Sinatra won the best supporting actor for this movie. And so did Donna Reed. And Donna Reed plays a escort call girl who gets involved with Montgomery Clift's character, Robert E. Lee Pruitt. And some tragic things happen in their romance. And there's some sad things happen in the romance with Deborah Kerr and Burt Lancaster as well. And then Pearl Harbor happens. And that's where kind of the division happens of this film. But yeah, it's kind of an anti-war film, and because you're seeing all the nonsense that goes on in the military in that film, and people who supposedly stand for codes and ethics and morals and principles and all of this, personally violating them because they want to follow their own instincts or they want to follow their own things. And the one principled man, Robert E. Lee Pruitt, he is killed by friendly fire in the movie. And so that shows you as well that, the idea of trying to kill someone who doesn't want to use their physical abilities to inflict violence on other people. So just think about that. So it's working on a number of levels. It's a fantastic film if you haven't seen it. And of course, it has one of the most iconic scenes ever with Deborah Kerr and Burt Lancaster on the beach when the water comes up. It's fantastic. Number 9 for me is Black Hawk Down. I love Black Hawk Down. That is a 2001 film, I think, from Ridley Scott, based on the 1999 book from a journalist, Justin Bowden, Mark Bowden, I think, maybe it's Mark Bowden. But it's it's about what really actually a skirmish that broke out that actually happened in Mogadishu in Somalia, and it's got a crap ton of actors in this: Tom Hardy, Ewan McGregor, Eric Bana, William Fichtner. There's even a young Ty Burrell in this thing. Sam Shepard is in this thing. Nicholas Coster-Waldau has a small part in this. So many people are involved in this as American soldiers and what they deal with. And once again, this is a situation here where it shows you the horrors of this film, shows you the horrors of war. And are there brave, heroic gestures made by these American soldiers in this situation? Absolutely. But it also shows you the term we say all the time in the military, FUBAR, how a situation can be FUBAR and cost American lives. And certainly that's something that I did hate under the Clinton administration when he sent them into this as a peacekeeping force, but they were not allowed to fire even when fired upon, and got into these situations because they were overwhelmed by a Somali warlord and his people, and a number of American soldiers died. So it's a pretty rough film, but it's essentially a kind of war version of The Outsiders in that so many different actors are just about to blow up coming out of that movie, along with some veteran actors, Ron Eldard as well being a part of this. So along with some veteran actors that are there to kind of stabilize the ship. Jeremy Piven's in that. I think I said Sam Shepard already. So, all right, my number 8, American War. Oh yeah, Ewan McGregor. That's right. Sorry, Ewan McGregor is in this as well. My number 8 film is Full Metal Jacket, the classic from Stanley Kubrick. That is a Vietnam era, I think 1987 or maybe 89. I can't remember what year it came out. You guys know I'm not good on movie release dates. Not yet. I'll be ready for Shmona's Spectacular, that's for sure. But Full Metal Jacket, directed by Stanley Kubrick. This one starring Matthew Modine. And a star-making turn from both Vincent D'Onofrio and R. Lee Ermey. Now, R. Lee Ermey had appeared in Apocalypse Now. He'd been in other things as a kind of technical advisor and appeared on screen, Mississippi Burning. But it was this film that really kind of blew him up as a name. And he ended up appearing in Mississippi Burning, which I think came out in 1989. And then as the voice of the toy soldiers in Toy Story. So certainly he made a name for himself. And then he was hosting or doing voiceover for stuff on History Channel. So this kind of blew him up. But D'Onofrio blew up off of this movie as well. Him gaining all that weight, playing Private Pile, and the shit he goes through in the first half of the film. And the film is broken up into 2 halves. First half is the boot camp sequence. And you get an idea of what it's like to be on Parris Island, be a Marine boot camp, getting ready for Vietnam. With all the different actors. Arliss Howard is there, Dorian Harewood, number of people who are in this movie who appear throughout. Adam Baldwin, Animal Mother. And then the second half of the movie is when Matthew Modine and everybody who survived that boot camp, other than Private Pile and R. Lee Ermey, go into Vietnam and the madness and the nuttiness of Vietnam. They were trained to be so disciplined in boot camp and to be all about each other and on a team. And then they get to Vietnam and it's an absolute shit show of what can happen in that final sequence with Matthew Modine's Private Joker having to deal with the reality of Vietnam and that Vietnamese girl and what happens at the end of the movie. I don't want to ruin too much of the movie, but that. So then my number 7, I didn't know they piled shit that high. D'Onofrio is fantastic in the film, and I think he gets Law and Order: Criminal Intent and a number of other roles off of this movie. But number 7 is The Great Escape, a fantastic film with Steve McQueen, Rock Hudson, Sir Richard Attenborough. The question I missed against Kalinowski when I could have stolen that. This is an incredible film. We've been talking about covering on Cinephiles, I don't know how many times, but many, many times. But I think Charles Bronson is in this one as well, if I'm remembering it correctly. But yeah, it also came out in 1963, directed by John Sturges. If y'all know John Sturges, he did a number of great films, including Gunfight at the OK Corral, The Magnificent Seven, Bad Day at Black Rock. I can't recommend that movie enough, Bad Day at Black Rock. If you guys seen Bad Day at Black Rock, it's a fucking awesome film. But this film, Great Escape, stars Steve McQueen, James Garner, Richard Attenborough, as I said. It's based on Paul Brickhill's 1950 nonfiction book of the same name, which is a firsthand account of the mass escape by British Commonwealth prisoners of war from a German POW camp, Stalag Luft III, in Sagan, which is now Zagen, Poland, in the Nazi Germany province of Lower Silesia. The film depicts a heavily fictionalized version of the escape with numerous compromises for its commercial appeal, such as focusing more on the American involvement in the escape. And I think McQueen, was he nominated? Yeah, McQueen won the award for Best Actor at the Moscow International Film Festival. And of course, it's got that iconic motorcycle scene. And it doesn't really end well for Steve McQueen, which is kind of a surprise in this movie. Yeah, Charles Bronson's in it. Donald Pleasance is in it. James Coburn is in it. So a couple of the Magnificent Seven actors popping up in this one as well. Anybody else of note? No. All right. But it's a pretty long film. So if you're going to give it a shot, I would say this is it's 170. So it's 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours and 4. What was it? 2 hours and almost 3 hours. It's almost a 3-hour movie. And it's on Criterion. Maybe that's a 50% one you guys can get if you want to get it. It's an excellent movie. Absolutely fucking excellent movie. So highly recommend. Okay. Then my number 6. Some of you are going to get upset. I know some of you are going to get upset. I think you can guess what I'm going to say. But my number 6 American war film in honor of Veterans Day is Saving Private Ryan. That's right. Saving Private Ryan. That is my number 6, Saving Private Ryan. I love the first opening 25 minutes of the movie. One of the most incredible things ever. But the rest of the movie suffers because that first scene is so incredible. So emotion-inducing, so moving, so heartbreaking, so effective in showing you what it's like to be what it was like to be there at D-Day, and the madness of it all, and the randomness of the death, and who lives and who dies, and all the craziness that happened just to be able to land on that beach. And then the rest of the film, them trying to find Matt Damon. There's some great conversations, some really great scenes. Certainly when Giovanni Ribisi dies. Him calling for his mom is one of the most devastating scenes you're ever going to see in a war film. But again, you're seeing all the shit you go through in war. And in Great Escape, I'm sorry, I didn't touch on that in Great Escape, showing the madness of being in a prison camp. This could be the end result for you if you go to war for this kind of thing. This could be the end result and you're in this situation. And not everyone escapes, and not everyone gets out. That's part of it is too. Saving Private Ryan, same thing here, like this idea that let's launch this mission that for PR's sake, let's make sure that not all the brothers from this one family dies. Now, do you see the logic of it? Of course you see the logic of it. But then again, all these people die just so you can save one person. Why is that human life of more worth than the other 5 that die in the process to try to save that one kid's life? Why is that worth it? Why is Tom Hanks' life worth less than Matt Damon's life in this movie? And so that's the kind of madness that you as a soldier are subject to whatever rules get passed down from whoever's in charge because they've supposedly earned being in charge. And so you're sent on a fucked up mission to try. Now, Edward Burns is irritating in the movie, but he's not wrong. He's not wrong to question this mission constantly. He's not wrong to call it out constantly. And although people love Tom Hanks because he's naturally a lovable person as an actor, his irritation with Burns it comes from two different mentalities, two different points of views. One follows the orders, the other one questions the orders because the orders make no fucking sense. And people dying so that one person can be saved, you ask yourself, is it worth it? Oh my God, Roxy. Are you in here? Roxy, I'm just acting the fool staying up late. She said, just saw you were live. Thanks for your service, John. Miss talking movies so you could bicker about how great SPR is. I'm obsessed. Oh, we're talking Saving Private Ryan. Respect, Roxy. Thank you, Roxy. Very kind of you to come in here. How nice. I miss you. And I miss talking movies with you too. We'll have to rectify that. We'll have to have you back on the Outlaw Nation show. And I'd love to come on your show anytime you have me on. I would love to come on. So, great to see you, Roxy. Thanks for stopping in. But yeah, but I know people love this movie. So I have not come to denigrate Saving Private Ryan. It's just the rest of the movie doesn't hold up to those first 25 minutes. It's not as the same kind of effective quality, although it does have moments. Certainly, as I said, Ribisi scene, or even Vin Diesel's scene when he dies saving that young French girl. Or even the death of Adam Goldberg in the movie. My God, I remember getting really emotional at that death because of him desperately saying, no, when the knife goes in. Oh, heartbreaking. But again, these are the things that could happen if you go to war. So, yes, is it glorifying war and that they beat the Nazis in that battle? Yes. But by the same token, it's also showing you the horrors of war. So in essence, an anti-war film at the same time. All right. You rock. You rock, Roxy. You absolutely rock. Miss you too. Thanks for popping in again. Love you. All right, so then my number 5 in best American war movies of all time is The Deer Hunter. Ooh, The Deer Hunter, man. Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken, Meryl Streep, John Cazale. Oh, what a film, man. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie in a long time, but Deer Hunter will emotionally mess you up in so many ways. These 3 young guys from Pennsylvania who are just best friends, care about each other so much. I mean, Meryl Streep is with Christopher Walken at the beginning of the movie, and then of course Robert De Niro and her kind of open the door to a possible romance when Christopher Walken disappears. They get captured in POW camp, and they play Russian roulette to try to stay alive. Then they escape from the POW camp, and Christopher Walken, after he's been in the hospital, in a moment just kind of disappears into the crowd because he's a lost soul. He was lost there in Pennsylvania, and he becomes even more lost in Vietnam. And it becomes about Robert De Niro trying to bring him back home, not only physically, but mentally. And that becomes his kind of goal. And this is directed by Michael Cimino, who did Heaven's Gate right after this movie and completely lost his directorial career, which is a shame because The Deer Hunter is incredible. I think it won Best Picture. And so to me, this is an incredible war film that once again shows you how war can twist young men's minds, how men can get lost by the effects of war, the PTSD, the exposure to it. Is the scene badass when they escape from the POW camp and shoot all those Vietnamese guys to get out of that situation with the Russian roulette? Fuck yeah, it's badass. But there's all that other stuff that goes around. And then when he finds him years later, still playing Russian roulette, that scene is devastating. And De Niro's tears, his crying, his wails, losing his friend is devastating. So that's an incredible film. If you haven't seen that, I recommend you revisit it. Yeah, Walken got Best Supporting Actor for that one. Absolutely. Yes. I can't believe it's 11:30. Jesus Christ. Yeah, 1978. Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that. Yeah, and that ending. Oof. Yeah, Justin, you need to buy the 4K of Deer Hunter. I have it. It's stellar. It's beautiful. So cute. It's gorgeous. My number 4 American war film here for Veterans Day is The Dirty Dozen. I don't know if you've seen The Dirty Dozen. Oh, Saul says, my old man was over there in 69 and 70. There are a few things on earth he hates the movie. There are a few things he hates on earth he hates more than the movie The Deer Hunter. Well, there you go. It's a movie, dude. I'm grading it on a movie, not the reality or if it conveyed the experience 100% correctly. I'm just talking about the movie. I love the movie. I can totally respect your father, who was actually in Vietnam, not loving any Vietnamese, any movie about Vietnam. I totally respect that. It's like ER. When you talk to people who work in an ER, they'll tell you ER is one of the most bullshit shows ever in the history of man. People who are police officers or detectives, they will tell you Law and Order is a bunch of hooey and SVU is a bunch of hooey and criminal intent. None of that is how it actually is, but it's TV. So anyway, The Dirty Dozen. This is my number 4 here. This 1967 film here, directed by Robert Aldrich. What a cast this one has. Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine, another war film here. Charles Bronson, Jim Brown. I think this is his debut as an actor in this movie. I remember Jim Brown, a fantastic athlete for the Cleveland Browns. John Cassavetes, who became a fantastic filmmaker in the 70s. Richard Jackal, George Kennedy, Trini Lopez, who was a singer. If you guys don't know what Trini Lopez is. Robert Ryan, who was great. Robert Ryan, if you remember him from the Wild Bunch, Robert Ryan's in the Wild Bunch as well. Telly Savalas in all of this. Basically, these are a bunch of guys who've been essentially either court-martialed or they've been, found out to be bad soldiers, and they've got issues, disciplinary issues. And so Lee Marvin is recruited to train them to go on this suicide mission. And I think whoever lives essentially gets their record expunged and they get to go back to being a regular military man. And they're attacking a Nazi compound. Ernest Borgnine is his second. Not his second. I'm sorry. Ernest Borgnine is his commanding officer who is monitoring and watching all of this. And Lee Marvin puts this crew together, and they go through all the paces to become a well-oiled machine before they go on this attack. There are some really interesting moments. First of all, Jim Brown's what happens to Jim Brown is heartbreaking. Who else? Telly Savalas is creepy as fuck in this movie. When they finally get to the Nazi compound, his baser instincts come out, his desire to commit evil. That guy truly was a psychopath. The character was, and it comes out when they go into the Nazi compound. Charles Bronson is fantastic in here, doing his thing as well. John Cassavetes, really interesting. You could tell when you watch John Cassavetes in Dirty Dozen, you can tell that there are different acting styles slamming into each other in this movie. John Cassavetes is representing what you're going to see in the 70s. The more method approach, the more kind of feels like he's coming up with the lines on the fly type approach as an actor. He's doing so much that for another actor would be overacting, but for him, it feels very natural. You know how Shatner gets away with doing the things he does? No one else can do what Shatner does because they would look like fools. Cassavetes had such a gift as a natural, pure, instinctive, reflexive actor. And you see that in this movie for sure. All right. So that was my number 4. And if you haven't seen Dirty Dozen in a while, it's fantastic. It's sad. It's tragic. It's heartbreaking. But it's also a bit inspirational. You know, that just because someone is in a certain situation doesn't mean they can't be redeemed or they can't have an opportunity to show how heroic they can be and how they can defend this country. But once again, a little bit of an anti-war film because it shows you how war can, or how being in the military can mess people up, or how the military sees people who don't live up to snuff as expendable. So, all right, then my number 3, and this is kind of one out of left field, but my number 3 American war film is Last of the Mohicans. Last of the Mohicans, the fantastic film from Michael Mann, starring Daniel Day-Lewis and Madeline Stowe. And I think it's Peter Firth, I think is the British guy. Russell Means and Wes Studi. Wes Studi is Magua, the villain of the piece, the antagonist of the piece. Russell Means, who was a Native American activist, who was part of AIM and marched in those movements. And I think he was part of the crew that took over Alcatraz back in the 70s as well. I think. Don't quote me, I think. But seeing him be a part of this movie and Wes Studi really gives this film an incredible amount of authenticity. And the reason I bring this up, and yes, I know it's a war between the French and the English, but Daniel Day-Lewis is an American, and he's fighting in this. And so by technical terms, it qualifies, and it's happening on American soil. So by technical terms, it qualifies. And I love this movie so much. You didn't have to talk me into including it. So if you haven't seen this one in a while, it's really incredible. I'm waiting for a 4K version of this movie. I went to see Michael Mann talk about it one time at the Egyptian, and with a screening and a Q&A afterwards, and incredible. Just incredible, his point of view on the movie and the kind of work he did and the research and the nuance and all of this that he brought to the film. Just stellar stuff. And I loved seeing him be a part of this, or I loved hearing his points of views of Daniel Day-Lewis being a part of this and what he was able to bring to the role. And basically, Daniel Day-Lewis, it's based on the James Fenimore Cooper novel, but it's way more interesting than James Fenimore Cooper novel. And he plays Hawkeye, who is this guy who's like he's got a Native American father, a Native American brother. And they get involved in this battle between the English and the British on American soil, and they're representing the settlers. Madeline Stowe is a British woman who's been here because her dad is running the British side of things. They essentially get kidnapped through the sisters. That's Madeline Stowe and the character who plays, and the woman who plays her sister. They get kidnapped by Magua. And Hawkeye has to lead kind of a rescue mission to save them. And it's incredible. And the music, oh my God, it's one of the best scores ever made. You know what? Shit, maybe I should find that on vinyl. Well, anyway, I'll find that on vinyl later, but I definitely should have The Last of the Mohicans on vinyl. That would be fantastic. So I would love that soundtrack because I have it on CD, but on vinyl would be incredible. Oh, they don't even make it. It's currently unavailable. All right. Well, maybe I'll look on Discogs and see if it's. But anyway, an incredible film. If you haven't seen this film, Michael Mann does great work. And certainly throughout the 80s, he did fantastic work. And this one is one of his best, honestly. Number 2, American war film. I can't believe there's still 70 of you who are still hanging out with me today. Thank you very much. If you haven't hit a like, please feel free to hit a like and send in a Streamlab or a Super Chat. I'd appreciate it for sure. As kind of a thank you or kind of a support for everything we're doing here. Josh, apparently you said you sent one. I don't see one that you sent, bro. I don't see a Streamlab that you sent, my friend. So please, if you want to send it again, feel free. Fred Tastic sent it to Streamlab. He said, I tell my sons, it's hard for anyone to take away something you worked for. Something given can easily be taken away. God bless and happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. Absolutely, Fred. Good things to tell you, kid, for sure. Respect to you, my man. All right. So number 2, drum roll. All right. Number 2 is Patton. World War II film, won Best Picture as well in 1970, I believe. George C. Scott playing George S. Patton. An incredible performance. Carl Malden in the film as well. I think those are the 2 big names in the movie, but chronicling the life of Patton during World War II and the self-destructive impulses of George Patton during World War II. And he is a hero, and he's like taking on Rommel, and he's so smart, and he's so easy to cheer for, and he's so easy to love and support because he's no nonsense. That opening classic speech, by the way, this is a script by Francis Ford Coppola. He originally wrote it. If you listen to our episode on the Cinephiles, he originally wrote it, then he was taken off the film, and then years later they brought him back to use his script. And the speech is one of the reasons why they initially didn't want the script. And then when George C. Scott came on to play George Patton, he made them put the speech back in and bring Coppola back and credit him as the writer of the movie. But that opening speech is just incredible. No one ever won a war by dying for his country. And when you hear that for the starting, like, wait a minute, what? Everyone tells you got to die for you're going to be willing to die for your country. He says, no, you win by making the other guy die for his country. And that was just kind of, when I've heard that the first time, my mind just went, but an incredible film that chronicles the life of George S. Patton, as I said, in World War II and the multiple battles he was involved in and how much he was a bit of an ass because he was never just happy with what he had. He always wanted more. He always felt he was the most intelligent person in the room. He always felt he was the most talented person in the room. He always felt like he should be the one running everything. He should be the one in charge of the entire war effort there. He went up against MacArthur. He went up against other generals. that were in line there, and it ended up biting him in the ass. And yes, he has moments of real conflict within himself, moments of questioning his thought processes and how he ends up in these situations. But it's a fantastic film that is almost 3 hours long. Oh God, I always forget who directed Patton. Where's the film? Oh, wait. Let me find the film. I don't want to just go to George S. Patton. Got to find the film. Frankenheimer? No, it's Franklin J. Schaffner. That's right. Damn it. Franklin J. Schaffner directed this one. It's based on the books Patton, Ordeal and Triumph, which is the 1954 biography, and A Soldier Story, which is an autobiography by Omar N. Bradley. And Omar Bradley is who Carl Malden is playing in the movie, legendary general himself. And this one is 172 minutes as well, almost 3 hours, this movie, for sure. And it covers all this time in North Africa and World War II for Patton and all the indignities that he has to suffer because he can't keep his mouth shut. He can't just play ball. If he played ball, he'd have been one of the most revered generals that served and stayed serving throughout multiple battles, but constantly going up and down because of his hubris and his ego, which of course comes from a place of deep insecurity and deep desire to be recognized for how great he is. All right, so then my top film, and I'm going to wrap up after this. God damn it, I can't believe it on for 3 hours, almost 3 hours. But my number one American war film, Dr. Strangelove doesn't qualify for me, but American war film is Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now is my number one. For those of you who know me, you know Apocalypse Now was going to be not my number one. It is. I have it in 4K. I've owned every fucking version of that movie that's ever been created from VHS. There's probably a beta. I didn't own the beta, but they're from VHS to Blu-ray to special edition, that included the documentary, The Hearts of Darkness, to the 4K version that just came out last year. I love Apocalypse Now. And the original cut. Yes, the other editions add stuff, the French plantation scene, a little more of Robert Duvall, the Playboy Playmates, and the sexual exploits that they have there with the guys. But I have always loved the original cut of the film. I think everything I needed is in the original cut of the film. A fantastic performance from Martin Sheen as Willard. This is a adaptation of Joseph Conrad's book Heart of Darkness. And in this version, Martin Sheen is the protagonist going down the river, going to Cambodia on this riverboat. This is a military U-boat or PT boat, I think, with Lawrence Fishburne, a 14-year-old Lawrence Fishburne, by the way, Joseph Bottoms, Frederick Forrest. Oh my God help me. The captain of the ship. Oh God, my heart breaks not remembering his name right now. I apologize to everybody, including his family. I should totally remember his name. Albert Hall. Yes, Albert Hall, who plays Chief Phillips of the boat. It also has a quick cameo from Harrison Ford as Colonel Lucas. Then you get the whacked out Dennis Hopper as the photojournalist when they finally get to Colonel Kurtz's compound, which is where they're going. That's Marlon Brando's character there. But Dennis Hopper, was he good man? Was he kind man? Is that what they're going to say? Scott Glenn has a very, very quick cameo in this, as well as somebody who served under Kurtz and then kind of bought into Kurtz's approach to the world. And essentially Kurtz, Colonel Kurtz, that's who Brando's playing, has essentially, as they said in Citizen Kane, he's lorded over the monkeys. He's like essentially set up shop in the jungle, and he has taken control of some of the people there, the natives in the area in Cambodia there, and he has built essentially a fiefdom, a kingdom, where he is in control. And the reason they want the people back in the American military base, or in the army, want to eradicate him and terminate him with extreme prejudice is because they claim that he has lost his mind and gone crazy. But in fact, there's a method to his madness, because he is weeding out the traitors to the cause there, the double agents in Vietnam. And because of that, because they can't control him, they send Willard to kill him. He goes, the journey itself is like this fantastic fever dream, visually incredible. Really enjoy the acting from top to bottom from everybody in this thing, but all the places they experience, all the things that they go through, it's just kind of showing you the madness of Vietnam, right? Even Robert Duvall's Kilgore, his idea that he's obsessed with surfing and that he tries to make people surf as bombs are dropping in the water. It's insane. Shells are hitting the water. He's so obsessed with surfing. And Sheen has that great line: "Is some guys, you just knew he wasn't going to get so much as a scratch. Some guys just kind of radiate that, and that famous line from Robert Duvall's Kilgore when he's like, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory. Someday this war is going to end." And I love that lingering line. Someday this war is going to end. He's sad about it because he loves the war. He loves being in war. And some guys are just built to enjoy the madness of war. And certainly he was one of them. And this film shows you, this film is essentially the descent into hell, right? Was it the 9 circles of hell? You're descending to go and confront Kurtz. And that ending with the end with the Doors playing there as Sheen carries out his task is very moving. And I really enjoy the back and forth between Brando's Kurtz and Sheen's Willard. The lines are incredible. And Brando didn't memorize any of his lines, which was a supreme source of frustration for Coppola. And apparently shut up overweight, bald, but he made it work. My God, he made it work. He's so fantastic in the movie. And he's just like, you're an errand boy sent by clerks to collect a bill. That's what you are. And there's great lines that everybody has. I mean, Willard has that great line when he's like handing out or convicting or accusing someone of murder in this place is like handing out speeding tickets at the Indianapolis 500. It's just brilliant lines that show you the madness of Vietnam, the madness of war, the madness of being a part of a war, and what you have to experience. That scene where they go, what the guy describes as the asshole of the world and the insane stuff he goes through. All of it just brilliantly done by Coppola, who almost lost everything over this movie. But I can watch it. I could pop it on right now and stay up till 2 a.m. It's that much of an engrossing film with great voiceover by Martin Sheen, great acting from everybody involved, and some phenomenally well-directed sequences that lead you to that finale. So just incredible stuff. So there you go. Those are my top 10 war films for Veterans Day. I hope you guys appreciated that. Sorry if I left any of the ones you love out. Yes, absolutely. Saul says Arlie Ermy is one of the helicopter pilots during the Ride of the Valkyrie scene. That he is. Yes, he is. You can see him saying it's on the left there, sir. You can see him there for sure. Yes, as I said, early Harrison Ford Road. Yes, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Yep, absolutely. Some might say an outlaw nation. Nice. There you go. So, yeah, Fishburne lied about his age to get thrown on the film. Yes, he did. He told people he was 17 or 18 when he was really 14. And he calls himself Lawrence Fishburne. So, there you go. All right, I've been on for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Morning. Who's up early from Ireland? Who is up early from Ireland? Am I dreaming that? Did someone? Oh yeah, John Mulligan says good morning from Ireland. Hello, my name is John Mulligan, and I'm from Ireland. Okay, I can't do that. Hurt my throat. Sean, I can't talk no more. I gotta go. All right, let me check, see if there's any more Streamlabs. No more Streamlabs. But I appreciate everybody who sent in Streamlabs and Super Chats tonight. I wasn't even going to do a fucking show, and here I am 2 hours and 47 minutes into this goddamn show. Craziness. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time. Hope I didn't offend anybody, but we talked about a number of subjects. I was really open about a lot of things, so I hope you appreciate that. It's the Outlaw Nation, so we're not going to lie, for God's sakes. We'll tell truths here. Saul's disappointed that Where Eagles Dare didn't crack the top 10. No, bro, but which one would you take out? They're all fucking incredible movies, man. You'd probably take out From Here to Eternity, I guess, because you know, Saul, come on, man. You ain't got a soft spot in that heart of yours. So I wouldn't be surprised. But I want to thank Sean Barreto for producing tonight, staying up with me till almost midnight. Thank you, Sean. Thanks to everybody for joining me and staying on. We had consistently about 70 to 110 people all night tonight. So thank you so much for hanging out with me and having some fun with me on the Outlaw Nation show. Some of you have been saying like, oh, is it not a weekly show? It's not about that. I've been super busy. And I tell you, sometimes I can get really, really exhausted. And I just want to kind of lay down. Even tonight, if I hadn't gotten a second wind, I don't think I would have done the show because I've got to be up in about 6 hours for Disney Plus Day. So gonna start dropping some trailer reactions, see what we get tomorrow. Looking forward to it. And tomorrow, as I said, look for our live Geek Buddies show. I don't know when we're going to do it because I don't know when they're going to stop dropping stuff, but I'm hoping we do it around 1 or 2 o'clock because they'll be done dropping. If it started at 6, I hope they're done dropping stuff by noon. I would love that. But if not, I will be up in the morning. If there's some Disney Plus coverage, maybe I'll do some live watch alongs because I can watch Disney Plus on my channel. So just start a live watch along on the channel, possibly. And do you guys think I should clip out this top 10 American war films as a separate video? Kind of put it up? Because I kind of went in a bunch of directions, but do you think people will enjoy it? Maybe put some images up for each of those movies as I talk about it, possibly. We shall see. But anyway, all right. Well, thank you all so much. I love you madly. Please remember to follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Please remember to be part of the Patreon. Join the Patreon. Head on over to the Patreon. Support what we're doing there. Patreon.com/John Rocha. Some of you have asked about donating without being on the Patreon, so I'm going to set something up. I think you can do stuff through the PayPal, but maybe I can set up an Outlaw Nation PayPal that goes straight to my account for some of you that want to donate in that manner, which I appreciate madly. Also remember I'm on Twitch, the Outlaw Nation, all one word. So follow and subscribe to me there. They're definitely going to be watch alongs, play alongs, and John and Wendy's show on Fridays. Usually tomorrow we're taking the week off, but we'll be back next week for sure because both of us have to cover all this stuff. And I think we're going to be exhausted to do a show on Twitch for that. But yeah, follow me there. And what patreon.com/John Rocha. I want to make sure I said that one more time. And I think that's everything. So thank you everybody for the Streamlabs super chats. You guys are amazing. Let me end the show like I end every show. Please. I say this from the deepest places in my heart. I heard some people were having trouble this week. I've heard quite a few friends actually were having some trouble this week, and people I really care about have been going through some tough days, some tough moments. And I just want to tell you all from the bottom of my heart, whatever you need to do to get through the next second, next minute, next hour, next day, next week, next month, next year, I want you to do that. All right? I know the world is tough. I know it's not easy. I know for a majority of us, it's a struggle every day to get through the day so we can come out the other side and get ready for another day. But I guarantee you, if you just find that way to put that one step forward, the one toe forward, the one half a step forward, or take a big step forward if you're feeling yourself, you never know what's waiting for you on the other side. If you can just have faith and fight for the life that you want to have, you never know what can happen. And I hope I'm living proof, man. 2016, like I've said many times, almost took my life in 2016. And look how much my life has changed since then. You know, I'm about to get ready possibly for my last ever Schmodown match once Christian Harloff gets off his ass and gives me my match. And it's been a hell of a ride. It's been a hell of a journey. But the Schmodown itself was there during my darkest moments, during my darkest times. And so, you know, you just never know how things can turn around. And building this community, building the Outlaw Nation out of the Schmodown, out of the stuff I did at Collider, out of the stuff I did at other outlets and stuff as a freelancer, as a guest. It's been incredible. And meeting the woman of my dreams, you know, my soulmate, meeting my soulmate. It's all been worth it. And it wouldn't have happened if I had taken that step in 2016. So you just never know. If you just hang on for a little while longer, if you hang on for an extra day, you just never know what can happen for you, where the light comes on, the epiphany happens, and you go, okay, I need to work on this. Or, okay, I finally get it now, how I need to approach this world and this life. Just never know. The human mind is a very interesting thing. And you just never know when it's going to click and everything is going to fall into place and things look much better in your world than they did before. So I just want to encourage you to keep fighting, keep persevering. And if you're coming to Schmodown Spectacular, I hope I get to meet you. I hope I get to say hi. And please find me. Please, I'm willing to take as many pictures as possible. I'm going to charge for some. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to charge for some. But I'm willing to take as many pictures as possible because I want people to just kind of who want to see me possibly for the last time as the Outlaw. I want them to have some time with me. So if you go on a spectacular, find me. Let's share a quick moment. Let's share a quick back and forth, and let me tell you thank you for being a part of the Outlaw Nation to your face. So, all right. Much love to all of you. Take care of yourselves. Please remember to hit a like on this video. Please remember to share this video. And please remember to leave a comment on this video. Likes and comments elevate the visibility of this. So I would appreciate it madly. And share it on your social media. Because when you share it on social media, you tell people, hey, the Outlaw Nation is a cool place to come hang out and do stuff. And maybe they'll come be a part of the nation. And subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget, subscribe and hit that bell button so you see where we're dropping everything. All right. That's it for me. I am Saul threatening me on my own show. Thanks. Oh, trust me. I'm going to find you. All right. All right. Good. I'm glad you're going to find me. All right. Peace to everybody. I love you all madly. Be well. And we'll talk to you next week with another brand new live episode of the Outlaw Nation Show.